the other stream. The boys had a banger this morning. Shout out to them. Shout out to Adara. Good luck and happy trading to all. Shout out to the best mod in the world. Bears versus Dang Bulls in Mateus Lane. Yo, yo, yo. Right back at you, baby. We got the realists. We got Mark Susi, Juan Padilla, and Charlie Taff. Callum, Mitchell, Dang, Miller. I used to have a very good friend when I was a kid called Callum. Christopher Holcomb. We got Ronaldo and Gorev and Day Trader. Shout out to Yoel and Mary. Oliver joining us as well as Vivid Distortion. I don't know about you, but I don't like blurry distortions. I like vivid distortion.
Vivid distortion. I like
Shout
that
out to him. Indeed Money and JC Finance. We got Andrew Chow and Paul Goodson, Laura White and Easy Media. Mary S. Lyman, peace right back at you. HVAC tips, I like that. Runs with Bulls and Turin Termabear. Solid Win and Corey Pratt. We got Captain Physics. We got, who else? Michael G, Torben Stelling. We got Oliver Costaros and Charmeen Khan. Shout out to Ella and High Muscle Guy. Shout out to you, Ella, and Stock Up. JR, Jason Singer, and Thomas. Hello to you too, my man. M Sense and Jameson. Shout out to Jameson, Tushar, Belon Wood, Charmeen Khan, and already we do have to weasel on over to the big desk. Adara has something for us.
Yes, we already have news here. So right at 11 a.m., Boeing announced their November deliveries. Boeing's already up here a nice 5%. This one has been strong on the day. There's some positive news. But basically what happens here is they've reported November deliveries of 13 commercial jets, 9 of which are 737 MAXs. This is down on a year-over-year basis compared to 56 jets, commercial jets delivered in November 2023. But market doesn't seem to be responding negatively. Be aware that there could be a head and shoulders here on BA. This is a 3-minute chart. Be aware of that 165.20 level we're heading into right now. Through November 30th, so the year so far, the first 11 months, the company reported 370 orders net of cancellations or conversions. So that is BA here. Just be aware. This could react a little bit later here. These are their November delivery numbers, guys. Back to you.
I appreciate that, Adara. She just had to drop that hotline. Stop there. I love that. Good morning.
Oh, my stream deck's not on. I'm good, man. How are you?
Can't complain. Everything is good. Market, Whifflin, Wafflin, the NQ, and the ES are all up. All the major indexes up, Joseph. But if you had a look at some of the mag, well, some of them are on the downward trajectory. So we're going to have to see if that holds up on the day. I'm just going to cover my small cap super quick because Joseph's got the lesson today. In case you don't know, we're talking about options hedging, baby. So if you're into that kind of thing, hang on a few minutes. Just going to show the small cap gappers, and Joseph's going to get right into the lesson, Fabian. Here's what we're looking at. GXAI, big boy mover. It was halted not that long ago, dropping down into that 5.5, 609 HOD. This is on watch. I want to see it at 5. If this weasels down to 5, I'm a buyer. RGTI looking good, but that 5 3/4 now, we're starting to get that rounded top effect. I like this at 5 1/4, 5 1/3 for the volume weighted average price. Likewise with CMRX, a bit of a slower mover here. Range per candle, not exactly to my liking. It's got a wide range per candle. That affects your stop placement and how you trade it. CDIO. This is an interesting one because you know that trade different north and south of that dollar. We're in the north side of the dollar right now. Let's see if that hangs out. This is also on watch for me. Last but certainly not least, SERV, a recycle trade. We've been watching this bad boy trade in the small cap gappers kind of side chart for a hot minute now. It's also having itself a day. So we're going to keep an eye on that. QU, RE, CPIX, and BNZI kind of not to my liking right now, but we're going to leave them on the side watch list over here in case they do regain VWAP and then become tradable under my system, Joseph. So those are the 8 bad boys I'm looking at today.
Beautiful stuff as always, Sharif. Guys, today we're going to talk about some basic hedging, just using options, especially when you're already in positions, all right, or how to create debit spreads. So let's get right into it because we do have some material to cover, and hopefully you guys like this one here. But yeah, by the way, I'm in some Google and Tesla as well too, using the vehicle TSLA. I think that Tesla has the potential to reach all-time highs today, especially if this second leg decides it wants to kind of form here. So let's see how it holds around the volume weighted average price. But guys, let's get into it. Pretty simple stuff, especially if you're familiar with options, you're a veteran of options, but maybe this can give you some new ideas on how to hedge those long calls or long puts, guys. So this is debit spreads, the basic hedge, all right? So what are debit spreads? Just the components of them, capital requirements, as always, why people lead to debit spreads, technicals and strategies. So we're gonna go over some basic hedges like calendar spreads and ratio spreads, all right? So, and then just opening, closing, risk management, how to open and close these positions, all right, guys? So let's get into it. Hey. All right, boys and girls. So debit spreads are an intermediate level options trade that involve executing multiple contracts at once, all right? So the bull call spread and bear put spread are the fundamentals to multiple option strategies, okay? So when you are constructing options trades, a lot of them consist of some form of spread, whether it be a credit spread or a debit spread, all right? So like a condor is a combination of two spreads combined and et cetera, and same with butterflies and moving forward, all right? So the strategy will consist of at least one long option and one short option, all right? That's just the basics of the spread. The difference between your long call and put and the short call and put is classified as a spread. So if you have a long call at a strike price of 200, and then you have a short call at the price of 205, that spread difference is just $5. Simplistic stuff, all right? That is just the basics of the spread. So constructing your debit spread accordingly so you don't create a net credit, all right? Two totally different things. So a bull call spread, you buy one call of stock XYZ at $170, and then you sell one call at $175, all right? That's as simple as it is, $5 debit spread. Then you have the bear put spread. Buy one put of XYZ at 160, and then you sell one put at 150. Again, just constructing a $5 spread. And it doesn't necessarily have to be $5. I just like using the $5 spreads for my credit and debit spreads, all right, guys? It can be more subjective. If you're not looking for as much of a hedge, if you don't want that much downside protection, then you can create the spread a little wider, okay? So keep that in mind. Or if you want more protection, and it will cap your gains, but again, it will cap that a little bit, and then you can move forward with that one there, guys. So, all right, so this is just the basic debit spread. This is the bull call spread here, guys. So as you can see, we have the at the money call and then an out of the money call as well, but that is our short call on that one. So this is the basics of that spread. You have this one strike, and then you hedge it with the other strike, also reducing the cost of the premium, the debit required to construct this spread, okay? So, and here is the basics of a bull or a bear put spread, okay? So again, 225, and then protection around 205. So this is a little bit wider, but again, you can see the cost reduction in this spread. Okay, so capital requirements are a key feature that draw traders and investors to options. One contract equals 100 shares of stock. Simplistic stuff. The cost of the contracts are significantly cheaper than buying outright shares in most cases. So less capital requirements to buy a leap compared to 100 shares of stock. Creating debit spreads reduces the capital requirements and reduces the loss, but it also reduces the profit potential, all right? So there's always going to be one side of things, okay? So you can't just have one thing without the opposite. So again, let's just take a look at what it would cost to just buy an outright call of Google at $172. That will cost you $3.65 in options terms, but that is $365 there, okay? So now we have hedged this position, creating a $10 spread that reduces the cost significantly. So as you can see, we have a max return of 16,000 going back, 16,556. Our max loss is $365, but now we've constructed this spread. It does reduce our profit potential, but then it also reduces the max loss, okay? And the probability of profit is a little bit hindered. But again, this is the goal of hedging your calls or your puts using the same vehicles, okay? So moving forward, the same thing with Google. You can see that this contract costs $620 or in options terms, $6.20, with a max return that is infinite and then a max loss of $620. So now, say we have this contract that expires in 36 days. It's not really doing what we want it to do, so we're going to look to hedge this position, all right? So what are we going to do? We're going to sell a call, all right? So now we've sold this call. It also reduces the cost of this contract combination, all right? So our max return isn't infinite, but also our max loss has been reduced, okay? So we go from an infinite return to about only $1,000 return when you hedge your position, all right? So creating spreads have multiple benefits. If you already have long calls or puts, there are multiple ways you can hedge this position, all right? It doesn't always have to be the same expiry date, and it always doesn't have to equal the same amount of contracts, all right? So ratio and calendar spreads are a few of the multiple strategies you can utilize. So we'll go over ratio spreads here, and then we're going to get back into the markets, and we'll finish the other half later, all right? So ratio spreads, this is a great method to partially hedge your position, all right? A ratio spread is a simplistic option strategy that involves an imbalanced ratio of long options to short options. Example, you have 4 calls of stock XYZ, and you want to partially hedge your position's downside. You can sell 2 calls against your long leg, hedging your position at a 2-to-1 ratio of long calls to short calls. This also reduces the cost of the trade as well too, all right, guys? So this is just an example. As you can see, 4 contracts here cost us about $4,000, but now we're gonna hedge it using a ratio spread, but we don't wanna hedge, have a complete delta neutral hedge. So what we're gonna do is just sell 2 contracts against that. So then again, that reduces the contracts combinations cost by half, and we still have the same return potential. So that's why a lot of traders like to use ratio spreads, all right? So we're gonna stop there on this one, guys. We'll return to the lesson later with some calendar spreads, but that is just basic, one of my favorite, the partial hedge. You don't have to be completely protected, but the ratio spread is an absolute beautiful method to protect short-term downside in your options positions, guys. So yes, we will get back to calendar spreads right after we see what Sharif is cooking up.
Yes,
over
sir.
there,
We
my friend.
weaseled into GXAI, sir, right at 69s, because you know that's how I do. And we wet our beak all the way up into 20s. Sad to say, Joseph, I have to do this animation.
No, oh,
I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough. Yeah, I definitely needed to take more shares there. I did have a dip trade. Thanks, baby, and I appreciate you, brother. You're always so supportive. No, I did have a dip trade on this bad boy over here. I wanted it to come in about 5.5, 5.25. It didn't weasel on down there, so we didn't get the ad. So that sucks to be me. Profitable on it, looking to do better. We'll talk more about these ones and the ones that I'm in right now once we get back from Adair at the big desk.
Yeah, we do have super micro computer on watch here. This is the 15-minute chart. It'll kind of give you that relief move, that umbrella pattern, if you will, and then push lower. But it's on watch here because I'm seeing some comments on social media that apparently the company's CEO, Charles Liang, has said he's confident that they will not get delisted in a TV interview. The thing is, I have not found any links to the interview or sources saying specifically what interview it is. As of right now, this appears just to be something circulating on social media. But if and when I find any more information on this story, I will let you guys know. I just wanted to make you aware that there are things online saying that apparently Charles Liang has said he's confident the company will not get delisted. So keep an eye here on super micro computers. Also, we're noting Boeing, we talked about earlier. That one's at day's highs here, up almost 6%. Looks like another wild day for the market as we await that Microsoft shareholder meeting. It starts in about 15 minutes. I will be listening to it right now. I'm just listening to the intro music. And if anything happens, I will let you know. And make sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you join us every day. Back to you.
Appreciate that, Adair. Thank you very much. Yeah, Boeing should be interesting. SMCI, both in play. Both are making their way onto the side chart right now, despite the fact that I haven't been trading the small or the large caps a lot. Bang on SERV. There we go. We'll take some out. I appreciate you, Joseph. As always, we're gonna excuse me, set up another beak wetter here. Look, I'm gonna put it at 25s. I'm born on the 25th. I happen to like that number, so we're gonna put that there. And come what may, baby. Where are we long? We're long 87s. We just wet our beak at 15s. Here comes 25s. We're 22s, excuse me. We're waiting for 25s here on SER dang V. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer as it weasels down into 15. It was a beautiful 10 exponential on the dang 5 hold. Sorry, I'm a little hyper. I just started drinking the coffee now, and you know the energy's kicking in right now. I do. So yeah, I do apologize for my how do you say verboseness? Verbosity? Verbosity? Adair, I got it. I didn't even know that was the word. Adair, I always check with Adair to see if any words that I do not know. Yeah, verbosity. Hey. So this is what I'm looking at right now. SERV weasels on up almost into that $0.50 area, dips down. Look. Beautiful hold at the 10 dang exponential on the 5. Yeah, sure, it wicks, but you have to account for that. This is a small cap gapper. It's also an art, not a science, so you have to account for that as well. Looking for this bad boy to kind of do that U-shaped retracement, maybe even break and take that $0.50 area. Packing my patience, taking out some sharage there as it weasels on back down. Last trade I'm in at the moment. I may not be in this one for that long, Joseph. This is the only loser I have on, despite the fact that I've weaseled my way out with a beakwater there at 14s. CDIO. I'm giving this to about 96 pennies. Only reason 96 pennies. And the reason is that's where the volume weighted average price is. If it breaches VWAP, I want nothing to do with it. So we're going to get out of this one. It's already touching the 10. It hasn't breached the 10, but it's already lower than $1. I don't know about this one, so I'm a little concerned. So I'm going to keep my eye on CDIO, not doing what I wanted to do or not doing what I anticipated it to do. Looking to weasel on out of there. Keeping my eye on as well on SERV. Joseph's coming back down below 14. Keeping my eye on that one. Junior Sun, verbosity for the win. Sounds like an AI company. Say less. I got an animation for that, baby.
Yeah, verbosity, man.
I didn't know that.
I like that. Yeah, I gotta come with the word of the day,
made that up as I said.
Yeah, that's crazy because Obi got decrement the other day. You have verbosity, so now I have to come out with something. So we'll see, because I want the word of the day. Teacher, so
I like
we're gonna think it's too easy of a game for Adara, so Adara's eliminated from the word of the day.
Yeah, Adara's not allowed.
Yeah, because she's in her own league. It's not fair. We keep it for the simple people over here, guys, on the desk. But yeah, folks. I know Jay Lee in the chat said he thinks that Tesla's a short. I don't know if Tesla's going to be a short anytime soon, my guy, because we're bullish on this thing, and you can't argue it from a daily perspective. It's absolutely been ripping, so we're going to look to continue into the strength with that one, guys. But Google here, why am I in this Google here, Sharif? Well, here, I know you would like this doji candle right here. So we sold. We had a really strong opening drive, gapping up, obviously, on the news catalyst. Pulling back through VWAP, that pullback was a little deep in my opinion. So once I seen this indecision candle kind of at an extreme, I'm like, hey, this is my green light to go. So sure enough, we hopped in here. We're starting to work out on Google, so that's nice. Let's see if we can go and touch VWAP at least. That's kind of my targets. Our 183.50 is my next target before I take anything else. Now, moving on to Tesla. I'm using the vehicle TSLA, this 2x leverage derivative, okay? So keep in mind, guys, I think that today there is a possibility that Tesla hits all-time highs. I mean, it's only $12 away, roughly. So if this second leg does want to kick in and it wants to break the high of day, then I think that is in reach, all right? So around 414 is the all-time highs on Tesla. If we break the high of day, I'm 1,000% going to look to continue to participate in this stock. I really am bullish on Tesla for the foreseeable future. So I do believe that it's only a matter of time until it does break the all-time highs. And we were talking off screen, Sharif, it's been since, 2021 since Tesla's made a new, an all-time high,
yes,
right?
Sir.
So we're 3 years in the bag, almost a little bit more from making all-time highs. So I think it's a bullish time to be.
Couldn't agree more. Look, I said this to you yesterday. I said it on camera. I'll say it again. I'm not taking any more out. I took 20% at 360. I'm going to add that 20% back, Joseph.
1,000%.
Yeah, this Model Q business, This fundamentally changes stuff in my eyes if it pans out to be the real deal. We haven't heard Elon say anything about it. So technically, you know, still unconfirmed. But that's how these trades go, right? Buy the rumor, sell the dang news, right?
And that's exactly it. And speaking of that, guys, we know that Microsoft is coming up. They're going to have the decision if they want to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And I think that this crypto is just waiting for something, some catalyst for it to continue to take that next leg. We are selling. I don't think that Microsoft is going to put it on their balance sheet, but again, any positive catalyst on this underlying, I think can send it to that, $110,000, $115,000 price target. Brother, for sure.
Look, again, not financial advice. I see a big boy tailwind. Whether that big boy tailwind is in a linear straight line, I don't think so. That's really not usually how the market works. You zig, you zag, you take opportunities to buy. But I think central banks buy Bitcoin. I think governments buy Bitcoin. I think big companies hold Bitcoin like they hold U.S. Treasuries. That's my opinion. I got nothing to back it up other than just my gut instinct. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, though, and we're going to be adding to both Tesla and Bitcoin on opportunity. So that's my little spiel for now. Let's talk about this one, though. SERV, Fabian, weaseling on back down into my entry at 1380. So I am a little bit concerned about this one with the doji candle, a topping tail candle, the one that printed at 11:15 on the 5-minute. I am concerned. Now, this area, 1380, that we keep getting bounces off, is that a predictable area for someone to have added? And my humble submission is yes. Look at this bull flag consolidation area top. We weasel up into 1380. We reject. We whiffle and waffle for a few minutes. Then you get the big boy buying at 1045, propelling this one into day's high at 1443. So 1380 was a predictable level. We're going to have to see, though, can it break and take 14 on a decisive basis? It was up there before. It got up there again, but it's having trouble with it now. So I am keeping my eye very, very much on this one to make sure that it doesn't drop off and I get caught in a down halt like I got caught on that one yesterday. But Adara does have sector watch at the big desk.
As we await the Microsoft shareholder meeting starting in just 5 minutes now to give you a bit of a countdown, we're going to take a look at some of these names making larger moves to the upside and downside in the S&P 500. Now, the theme is going to be here, companies with big announcements or big moves having some bigger moves here. We do have Micron here. This company actually was announced to have been receiving some money here from one of the U.S. departments. Looks like it was CHIPS Act related. However, it did sell off right off the open. So MU down about 3%, near day's lows, but trying to hold on to this area right below the $100 level right now. Then we have Boeing, BA here, up to the upside, almost at day's highs, up about 6%, apparently resuming its 737 production after 4-year lows here for their deliveries. This is reported by Bloomberg. We did get November deliveries of 13 commercial jets compared to 56 last year. And last but not least, we do have Charter. This is still the Boeing chart, but CHTR on watch here. Yesterday after the close, it announced that it's extended the maturities of its credit facilities. It's up about 4% right now. And be aware, it is expected to appear at the UBS Global Media and Communications Conference. We know yesterday some stocks that were at that conference like Disney and T-Mobile did make some moves. So be aware of CHTR today, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. I'm just going to answer one quick super chat that we got earlier from Yoel Reyna, one of the OGs in the chat there. He wants me to know about Adobe. Adobe reports tomorrow, and he wants to know what the deal is. Should he be holding into Adobe? So number one, you know, Yoel, I don't got to tell you. Obviously, it's not financial advice, but I'll do my best to give you my honest opinion. First, let's start with a daily look at the chart. Looks like it's in a bit of a consolidative range, right? We've been zigging and zagging with really no discernible trend, in my humble submission, since breaking out there in June of 2023. We've had highs through 600. We've had lows through the break of 500. And now we find ourselves kind of in the middle, 550. So right now, I don't feel there is a discernible trend on Adobe. So from a technical analysis perspective, hard to say. And you can always gauge that. Look at the moving averages. You've gotten 3 different crosses between the 20 and the 50, the golden cross and the death cross. 3 different crosses this year. The first one, you got the death cross in April. Then you got the golden cross in July. Then you got another death cross in October, and we're almost going to golden cross again. So what does that mean? These are not signals you should be using. Moving averages, as I've said many times before, are all but useless in consolidative markets. They will give you false signals over and over and over again. So I'm not going to use technical analysis here other than to say there could be a range that you could trade this. Now, let's have a look at what the street is predicting. If I can load up my, my screen there. There we go. Let's see. Weasel on over to Market Chameleon, see what the street is predicting on this bad boy for tomorrow's earnings. Give me 1 sec for this thing to load. There we go. We'll go calendar. We'll go tomorrow. There's Adobe right there. So last time we dipped about 8.5%. This time the expected move plus or minus 8.1%. Fabian, what are you hearing from your sources, brother, about Adobe? Is there love for it still, or is it falling out of favor? Because obviously Fabian's involved in the business. No way around it. You need to be using it constantly. The creators aren't super happy with it right now. Yes, I know about that. Okay. The AI that's basically that they're trying to incorporate into Adobe, it's using proprietary images from users in order to train its model. Its model. It's not. I don't want to call it a large language model. It's not a language model. But you get what I'm saying. The training data is user-based images. People not happy with that, so there's a bit of a headwind there. And obviously, you need. This is a. You're caught between a rock and a hard place as a user, as a creator, as obviously like Fabian in this kind of business. So hard for me to give you any real honest opinion on this, other than to say there seems to be a bit of a headwind on it from the the user side. The technicals are not clear at all. It's far too consolidative. Sorry, I know that doesn't help you, but there's really not much I can offer other than that, Yoel. Do you have any?
There's a little bit of open interest around the 590 to 600 levels, but nothing like standout-ish. It's the
590. Okay, so people, yeah.
So some hedging potentially going on all the way
so
up there.
So hedging, so that would be a downward for shorts, because they'd be hedging their bets to the upside, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're protecting the top side move there. So, if they're long some calls, then I guess they can just hedge that position using those around that higher level. And if it does exceed, then they'll still profit a little bit. If they get a sign, then they'll still profit from their average up to that short call strike price. So, nothing standoutish. Only about 3.7 thousand contracts open at 600, and about 3.3 thousand around 590. So nothing like crazy standout-ish from an open interest standpoint. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, look, again, man, really hard for me to say on this. I'm sorry to really couldn't help you, but shout out to Yoel. All right, guys, QURE, I'm seeing you guys yell about this one. It did breach the volume-weighted average price coming from the south side. It's going to have to stay up a little bit higher than this. Otherwise, I really don't want to trade it. I'm talking about QURE. This one is on watch. It's up almost 100%. No, I don't want to open you Outlook. It's up almost 100%, so we should probably put some respect on this one's name. The only issue is... going on over here. The only issue is, again, it's putting in higher lows, really holding that 50. It's gonna have to break and take the high of the day for me to get interested. This one though, GXAI, big boy topping till candle through 7.5, dipping Joseph into 6.5. I think I'm a buyer at 6, guys. 6 to 615, the 10 exponential at 615. Obviously, the whole dollar level. An area of psychological area of support and resistance. There's also price action support at that 615 area owing to this candle here at 1055. Then south of that, you have the volume weighted average price at low 580. So I'm a buyer of GXAI and a pullback. Whether or not, though, we get a move into the 10 exponential doesn't always happen, especially when you have aggression like this to the upside. It typically comes a little bit closer to the 10 exponential moving average on the 5, but doesn't always necessarily touch it. So you may want to front run that level, getting in maybe a third of the position, a quarter of the position at that level, and then having a planned dollar cost average at your level of choice, whether it's 6 or VWAP, whatever it is is keep your eye out on GXAI. I'm definitely involved in this bad boy over here. I got stopped out for the remaining amount on SERV, still positive on it though. This is looking flat bottom breakish, and that's what we got right there. There was a buyer of note at 80. We've given up the ghost there. We're weaseling down into 60. I'm going to keep my eye on this one for 1340 to 1350. Volume weighted average price. You know how much I love my VWAP entries with these small cap gappers, as well as 13 and a quarter. Look at the teen amount of topping rejections that we got from 10.05 to that big move to 10.35. We kept rejecting at 13 and a quarter. It stands to reason that there may be buyers in and around that area. We're going back to Adair.
Just be aware here, the annual shareholders meeting for Microsoft has begun. As of right now, we just have the introductory video statement. They just went over their disclaimer. It's worth noting there's going to be a pre-recorded portion and then a live Q&A. What we're watching for, though, is going to be the proxy vote section of things. You may recall Disney did this back in April at their shareholders meeting when Nelson Peltz vied for a board seat. So what's going to happen is they're going to go over the proposal. Then shareholders will vote on the proposal. The proposal we're waiting for is whether or not Microsoft should invest in Bitcoin. The second I hear anything more about this or any indications that portion of the proceedings are going to start, I will absolutely let you guys know. The link is available on Twitter at TTV Research. I've also placed it in the chat, and I'll put it again in the chat, guys. Back to you. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah, guys, I'm in here. I'm still in this TSLA trade, and if you know my style of trading thus far, I'm not in at a good place at all. I should be in around 28.60, but I'm not. I'm in up way above that, and hence now I'm having to sit through this pullback. I do believe that we do hold VWAP, but again, I'm not in the best position here. So it would never hurt me to kind of just back out of this and then re-enter. And the more I talk to you guys about it, the more likely I'm going to do that, because I don't know if it's going to breach VWAP and then head south of this indecision, this potential pivot. I don't think it's going to. I do think we hold these levels, but I can take a small loss on this one and then get a better price shortly after. So I'm out of this TSLL. We'll dock it down for a loss. That's totally okay. But I do believe I can get a better position on this one. So we're going to continue to hold off on this one. Guys, continue to let me know what you're looking at in the chat. If you have any questions about the basic hedging with options, then just send it in the chat. I'll do my best to answer those. Kendall Lopez, you had a good question. Could Tesla be the next NVIDIA up 1,000 per share price target with all the advancement and less regulation possibly under the new administration? Yeah, I mentioned this before. I'm really bullish on Tesla just because Elon is working. He's really good pals with Donald J. So he's going to get what he needs to get done from a regulatory standpoint, all right? So just keep that in mind. I'm really bullish on this stock. And mind you, it's also been 3+ years since it has made all-time highs. I think robo-taxi is going to be game-changing. If I can buy one, I'm going to definitely look to get involved with it. Hey, man, if I don't have to drive in the city and I can just chillax and you know what I mean? And
all right, Joseph, I got the first very important question for you.
Yeah.
Weapon to your head, don't want to use the other one.
Okay.
Are you buying a robo-taxi first, or are you buying Optimus first, if they were both available at the same time for similar prices? Similar prices.
How advanced is Optimus? Like, what can it do for me?
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a software thing where it's constantly updated, like in its intelligence.
I mean, as of right now, I don't need an assistant. I'm okay with my day-to-day life. I like cooking. I don't mind doing all those things. It can't help me in the gym, or it could spot me in the gym, maybe. That'd be cool. But I'm going. I think I'm going robo taxi. Okay. Yeah. How about you?
I'm going Optimus.
You're going Optimus?
What did you say? What happens when you're robo-taxi? What? What happens when your robo-taxi hits somebody and then it's dragging someone around? Are you in trouble or your car in trouble? I think you're vicariously liable in law, so it's probably you're in trouble. But just ask Cruise, GM's division. They know exactly what it's like to drag people on the street. They've done it. So a lady was obviously dragged by that Cruise division of Chevy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so that's the...
Yeah. $5 super chat, though, guys. Can you please tell me what's support for Tesla? I hope it stays 400. Yeah, sure. We're going to pull up Tesla because we are talking about it. So thank you for that $5 super chat. And we're going to pull up Tesla. I think the new hot stock of the year. So what is support? I believe that if it is going to pull back, look for this around support, 361, okay? We are moving, the volatility is picking up in this underlying, so just be aware, if we do decide that we want to pull back and we hold these levels, that can maybe indicate that we have some continuation past that. But I don't think we get that deep of a pullback without any negative catalyst, okay? So 361, sell some cash secured. If you get a sign, then congratulations, you're the proud owner of Tesla at 361 bucks. But I don't think we get pull back that deep. I still think we can continue to the top side.
Hopefully.
380s, yeah, 380s, mid 370s, and then we can continue to that all-time high. And then I think it's a matter of time until we have 500 in front of this name, Sharif, because we did move from 300 to 400 pretty quick. So I think that, yeah, it's ridiculous. But guys, yeah, we're going to come back. We're going to talk some more stuff here right when we get back from Madeira.
What we're going to do here is take a look at Microsoft MSFT. We currently have basically introductory comments happening right now. The biggest thing to note, though, is after there are the prepared comments, we're going to have the Q&A. Of course, we mentioned the Q&A, but the Q&A is going to be with Satya Nadella. It's also going to be with CFO Amy Hood. So Satya Nadella, CEO, CFO Amy Hood, and also Brad Smith, who's involved in the board and company as well. It's also worth noting right now, they're just talking about the fact that they're going to be nominating some new board of director members. So another thing to be aware of here. However, it is worth noting, we do have some moves here in Fiserv, FI, and also GS to be aware of. Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon saying that the shift administration here will be good for company's business because it'll be more growth focused. So basically, Goldman Sachs speaking positively about the incoming Trump administration. Also, Fiserv here, FI, at that Raymond James TMT and Consumer Conference. It's also worth noting here the Microsoft meeting has officially been called to order. So the more we see, we'll let you know. Really struggling right now with that 47.50 area, guys.
Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think
we already have a poll up, so we can't really throw because we got the voting poll right now, guys, for the afternoon rundown. So weasel on over into the chat and have your say every day. Obviously, we got 4 bangers on there for you. But I was going to say, Joseph, if we didn't have that poll on, I would have loved to throw it to the chat to see what they thought specifically about how the Microsoft board would vote. Kalshi only has it as a 13% chance that goes through. What we're talking about is possibly the Microsoft board voting for, allowing it. There's going to be a shareholder vote as well, but the board basically allowing but 1% of the holdings, like treasuries, equities, whatever else, to be. What do you think?
I mean, just having 1% of exposure is not going to hinder anything on Microsoft's balance sheet. You know what I mean? So it's just like, why not do it? You go back and you look at the history of this underlying asset, and how do you not add it on your balance sheet? Maybe it's a little biased, but regardless of what the asset is, if I were to show you a page that says, hey, this underlying gives you X return over any period of time, are you going to put it on your balance sheet? Forget the name of it, and the chances are you're probably going to say
I'm going to do an analysis. Yeah. If the numbers check out, the numbers check out. I don't care what it's called.
Exactly. What does it matter what the name is under it? If the numbers check out, then just do it, right?
I was telling Brenda off camera, too, in the morning. I'm like, dude, we've got like several years of a sample size now. When did this thing come to market? Early 2010s, right?
Yeah, I think, something along those lines.
Essentially, so we're, what, I don't know, 15 years deep, 16 years, whatever it is, 12 years deep. I personally heard of it in 13. So that's when my first exposure came to Bitcoin. It was like $100 at the time or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And so there's a longer sample size.
I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it that early.
I was like, what is this crap?
The first time that I actually really heard about it was a kid from my boxing gym. His name was Julian, and he lived in Niagara Falls. And he's like, yeah, I moved from Niagara Falls to the city to box because Bitcoin funded it, and it was at like 20K at the time or something like that. Yeah. So he got in nice and early on that front, and then he started boxing and training.
20K is early,
right. You know what I mean? Great. So that is absolutely insane. Brother.
I love hearing that.
Yeah. What are you cooking up?
All right. So we're still in SERV here. Still, it's putting in lower highs, but it keeps bouncing off that general area. So I'm going to give this one the old community college try. We'll give that one a look. CDIO is continuing to curl. So this one didn't stop me out, despite the fact that I had my stop below 96. It defended 98s. Now it's kind of putting in higher highs and higher lows. Looking to take out that 105. There is a seller of note, though, I want to say at 105 or 106. Take your pick. They depends really at what time slot we get to. There is a seller, though, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. But here we go. Big Spal's in the house. He's already dropping super chat. It's $9.99. Shout out to Big Smile Burdette. He goes on to say, insurance and state controls of the DMV will bog down robotaxi. Humanoid robots just never happening in our lifetimes. Completely disagree with that, Big Spile. It's more Musk fluff. Dude cannot even get the Ford Escort of EVs into production. I love how you think completely different than me in every way, Big Spile. Probably that's why I like you. To each their own, baby. I completely see it differently than you, except where you say that the insurance and the straight insurance and state DMVs will be a hindrance. I happen to agree completely with that. But I do not agree that Elon Musk is unable to get the very hard to market. I think that's kind of what he specializes with. And I think robotaxi and humanoid robots are, I don't know, 10 years maximum away. That's just my opinion. Well, I guess we'll all have to wait and see. That's the look there. Okay, Adara at the big desk.
So we just had all of the different proposals being announced here and presented. This is Microsoft at this Microsoft meeting. Basically, we are on the first proposal right now. The second proposal is going to be the one that involves Bitcoin. It's going to have a pre-recorded presentation. There's some speculation here, and from what I can tell, this could be Michael Saylor with that pre-recorded presentation. He did actually post his presentation to the board there on December 1st. It is a 3-minute PowerPoint. I'll see if I can find that and share that. It is on YouTube. But basically, be aware here in roughly 3 minutes, we are going to be hearing comments from potentially Michael Saylor here with regards to whether or not Bitcoin should be invested by MSFT. So keep an eye on MicroStrategy and Microsoft here. Again, we're going to be about 2.5 minutes when we could potentially get a move in that space. Back to you.
Bitcoin's selling right now as well too, Sharif.
I like
hovering around that $94,000 price target right there. But Wes y'all has a really good question. So people buy puts to hedge shares from a drop. Why not just have a stop loss? Shares they don't want to sell? Maybe, yeah, and exactly that. I mean, if you have a long-term plan and you don't want to kind of get wicked out or phased out by all the market movement and how the market breathes, then you can just hedge your position, right? So you don't want to always be getting in and out. You like your average price, but then you can also profit from short-term pullbacks as well too, right? So you can get the stock appreciation, and then you can collect some premiums and appreciation from some options as well too, West y'all. So that's why people like to hedge their positions. So you're not always just getting in and out, but you can also profit from short-term pullbacks and things along those lines. But yeah, guys, I think Tesla's holding VWAP here. Well, I don't think it is. So we're going to continue to hold on to this position. We got a little bit better of an entry here. Not exactly where I wanted, but I'm comfortable with this. If we break this potential double bottom right here, that level is being held to a T. So if we can hold this, I do think that second leg is in the picture for the session. So just keep that in mind. It may take a little bit of time, but if the volume does decide it wants to step in, then I like this a lot for a continuation to the top side, and then that potential push for the high of day. Now, Google. Still sitting in this Google trade, still up about over 3%, just under 4% on the session, 3.7%. So, I mean, it did gap up. Bullish on this stock as well, too. It has been lagging its peers. Let's pull this up from a daily perspective. And I mentioned Google and Microsoft were kind of in the same realm, in my opinion. It was just only a matter of time until they started to kind of catch up to their other mag peers. So here we are. Okay, Adara's got something on, I think, Bitcoin or Microsoft as well, too. So we're going to send it off to Adara. But as you can see, we got a big gap up here on Google. So let's see if we can continue on that one.
I do, and it's Michael Saylor right now giving his pre-recorded, this is, to be clear, a pre-recorded video presentation here. It is a slideshow on why Microsoft should invest in Bitcoin. This is the MSGR, which isn't doing much on this, maybe basing out a little bit here around that 359 area, but basically saying that Microsoft should be powered by digital capital, and for that reason, it should be investing in Bitcoin. As I said, he did post this presentation or a version of it on YouTube. I will try to find that link and then post it out so you guys can view it, but basically saying that because Bitcoin is outperforming Microsoft and because MicroStrategy stock is outperforming Microsoft this year, it would make sense there, and it's Microsoft's fiduciary duty to make this investment. Again, we haven't had the vote yet. We're just going to go through all the proposals first, so all 5 proposals, and there's also one in-person proposal. Once I have a better sense of what time the voting will start, I will provide an update. But with that, we'll be back to the Bash Brothers.
I like how people are calling us that.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, like Saylor is obviously going to try to push his agenda on that front. I think he should just whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I don't think what he has to say is going to influence the board of Microsoft and whether they're going to grab Bitcoin or not.
Look, bro, you know, he's doing his best.
He's doing his best. I mean, it's a sales pitch, right? He's all in, so it's better. It's beneficial for him. It's his sales pitch. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about that.
Fabian says he's riding the wave.
He's riding the wave.
I think he's doing more than that, Fabian. I think he's betting the farm up on that, or the bit farm up on that. So we'll have to see how that all pans out. I don't wish him any ill will or anything like that.
No, not at all. I mean,
he's getting a lot of hate on X. I'm just going to call it
because
space. People are hating him.
Yeah, because he's hoarding Bitcoin.
Like Calcanis, can't stand him. Jason Calcanis from the All In podcast, just talking bear smack about anything you can say. He's just like, he's so sarcastic, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, free money, everyone. Right? Like just basically trying to disparage the whole Bitcoin run and stuff like that. You could tell he's just probably angry that he didn't get in or whatever. I know.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
Of course, yeah. Well, I mean, look at Saylor's net worth over the past how many years? So.
Another $4.99 for a super chat from Big Spiles. Saylor's message. I have to read this first. Okay, it's all right. It's the future. Trust me, bro. Start making all your products only paid for by BTC. See, the problem with paying stuff for BTC is you got to realize capital gains every time you pay for something using BTC. So there has to be a statutory workaround around that where, you know, either a certain amount being spent of BTC is not taxable. You remove you remove it completely from the tax umbrella. Something's got to give. If you want to use that as a currency, it can't be taxed as an equity every time you weasel in and out of a buy, right? You're paying capital gains on that. So we're gonna have to wait and see exactly what happens there, man. I mean, so much to discuss. Paul saying Tesla in talks with India's biggest real estate developer for developer DLF for showroom space. Yeah, we've been hearing a lot about Tesla in India. India is one of those countries where if you want access to their market, you're gonna have to build stuff there and employ people there. That's kind of the way Modi's working on that side of the ocean. So we're gonna have to wait and see what Elon is willing to build out in India. We heard some things about Gujarat, possible Tamil Nadu. These are states in India that Tesla may want to build stuff in. Again, nothing verified. We're going to have to wait and find out exactly what the situation is. All right, so I'm keeping my eye on these positions right now. I've weaseled back into GXAI. I've already wet my beak on the pops, but the move is here to build my position into 6 to 580. That's why you see a couple of planned DCAs. I like the price action, initial resistance over here for it to hold as support. So I'm keeping my eye on GXAI, but we're going to send it to Adara. She's got news.
We do have Tesla on watch here. I'm seeing some reports circulating that apparently the company has resumed its search for showroom space in New Delhi, India. Apparently it's also in talks here with India's biggest real estate developer for showroom space. So keep an eye on TSLA looking to expand in India. We did have a wick up to that previous resistance level of 403.60 on that news. We're trying to potentially break out this resistance support level. Also, it's worth noting Michael Saylor concluded his pre-recorded presentation. Now we have the next proposal happening. As I said, there's going to be about 2 or 3 more proposals before we get the voting started. That's what you're really going to want to watch for any potential moves in MSFT, Bitcoin, or MicroStrategy, guys. Back to you.
All right, I just want to explain something here, guys. The tax that we pay at the store when we buy something, that's sales tax. That is fundamentally different than capital gains tax. They are not of the same percentage. So it does make a difference when you pay for something with capital gains because you're paying for that at the end of the year when you're doing your taxes. When you're paying for something at point of sale, that is sales tax. So we're not talking the same language. Specifically, I think I'm speaking to DJ Deckard Kane, who's asking, he's like, yo, bro, you already paid tax when you're buying stuff at the store. Sure, you're paying sales tax. What I'm talking about is capital gains tax that you pay when you submit your taxes at the end of the year. My understanding is if you use Bitcoin, you're going to have to pay capital gains.
Absolutely. No, you're right on that front there, Sharif. But yeah, I mean, speaking of Tesla, we were talking about this earlier as well, too. I just love how timely these news articles are because sure enough, now we're looking like we're going to take that second leg. Let's see if we can break this pivotal part here on this pivot on Tesla. If we do break this high around 28.90, this is TSLA. So if we do break this level here, this resistance, I do think that we can go and test that high a day. With that news catalyst kind of just giving it a little flame up under its rear end. So yeah, I mean, here we go. It's starting to move. I did add to this position, guys. As you can see, I entered here and then I got out. I said, I think I can get a better price. Sure enough, take the small loss, and then we hold VWAP to a T. Look at this beautiful support level we had on TSLA and Tesla around 28.50. And sure enough, we've held and now going to push these key levels. So if we break this and hold, I do think that we can go and test the high of day. So I'm not going to take any off just yet, maybe around 21.10s at the break and hold of this, and 29.20s. We'll look to take a little bit off on that front there, Sharif. So again, getting that news catalyst, sending Tesla a little bit higher, probably going to go and test those higher days. Now, I'm sitting in Google as well too, guys. Why was I in Google? Well, just solely off of that indecision candle. We did volume price analysis lessons. This is exactly that. So when you have a selling, you're kind of at an extreme in a strong trend, then you have that indecision doji. You can take that at the break of it or whenever you see fit. And then you can take that a little bit higher as well too. I'm going to look for 183.50s before I take any off the top. But again, we're going to hold on to this position, wait for these targets to come into play. Bitcoin now trading around $95,000 and change and continuing to kind of recover and hover in this consolidation phase here. I do think that's what this is, considering that we do have nice support levels on Bitcoin as well too, sitting around the $93,000 and $89,000 mark. Now, we had this nice big move up, consolidation, and then if a catalyst comes out, I do think this sends to the $110,000, $114,000 mark. I had a feeling, Sharif, when we broke 100K, that around 104 was going to be kind of the target before we decided to pull back, and that has been the case. So again, I don't think this is anything to be worried about. Underlyings need time to breathe. They can't just go parabolic all the time, especially when you put in these massive 20, 30% moves. It just can't go, it's not sustainable. So a nice breath. And then I do think we go to those lower $100,000 mark there.
Sounds good, brother. Got in here at VWAP on GXAI. Now it's going to have to hold this 575 area. Otherwise, we're going to get stopped out. So big move up into 750. Good retracement into the volume weighted average price. There is also support there. Not just VWAP. There's price action support. You have 2-bar hold up at 1050 and 1055. Generally, that come into $6. They do wick up into 607, but the closing prints are in and around $6. So you have a nice confluence there between price action support and possible support from the indicator, the volume weighted average price. Packing my patience to see if this one holds up. Now, I am kind of disappointed with how I executed my trade on SERV. So I had this theory, for whatever reason, that it was 1380 that was holding up as support. No. So it looked like as if it was 1360, and you take your pick. I mean, that's the lower end of this range over here. That was price action support, it looks like, because it did dip into that, then rocketing back to the north side over here, up into 14 and a quarter wants to go, where we had our original beak wetter on this one. So a bit of a tougher trade here. Definitely didn't want to get shaken out of this one, but I did. So now we're looking, well, I'm looking basically had a weasel back in because it's about 20 pennies, 15 pennies off highs right now. 3-candle move up into the upside, looking to take out that 1443 high a day. Here comes 1430. Lots of movement on this one, up about 19%. Good strength and good direction, but poor execution for me on this name. So we'll look to do a little bit better. So yeah, if it dips back down to 14, I'm probably a buyer in and around there. CDIO continuing to put in higher lows, but having a lot of issues with that 106, 107 area, the area we earmarked before. You can see multiple rejections in and around 107. So looking to see whether or not that seller at 107 gets taken out. I'll submit to you it's a hidden order or an iceberg order because there wasn't enough size there posted on the level 2 at 107 to really prevent that one from ascending. So Yeah. Disappointed with, look at this. SCRV's taking out the high of the day. Boom. Taking out the highs right now. Good look for SCRV. RGTI as well is taking out the high of the day. I've got both on watch right now. RGTI, where is my RGTI? There it is. This one taking out the high of the day as well. I wasn't really all that confident with this one when it dipped down into 540. I was looking at buying it at 530. That looked like the better area at the volume weighted average price. It didn't care what I thought or what I was looking at. It's moving into $6 right now with a 597, high of the day. Likewise with SCRV, they're both moving up big. Looking very similar, the charts right now between SERV and RGTI. Kind of had a bit of a, I don't want to say a flat top, but definitely some resistance in the high fives on RGTI and about, 14 and a quarter on, what's it called over here, SERV. So we're going to keep tabs on those ones, Joseph, as they both continually move up. Keep my eye on that. Someone earlier asked me about AMD. I'm going to have a look at this one for them. Totally forgot who asked.
Advanced micro garbage.
Well, that's exactly what they said. They said advanced money destroy. Let's have a look at the 5-minute right now. Yeah, a lot of respect right now for the 10 exponential moving average on AMD. Multiple rejections, even when this did get a bit extended below the 10 exponential, it moves up into it, a 2-candle hold up, and then we're dropping down aggressively. I would like something off the 10 exponential with my stop above the 20 exponential moving average on the 5. That's an intraday look for AMD. Obviously, if we look at the...
pull up the daily, man.
I know it's down year to date, bro. I already know it's down year to date. This is a 4-hour look on AMD. Yeah, it's a tougher road here. I mean, it sucks to be second, and that's what they are right now. They are second to NVIDIA. So
Wait, that's not even a close second, dude.
it's not right now. It's not. I mean, it's tough to be in this AI
Can
race.
you pull that
bro.
up for me one more time, please? The daily on AMD.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want
to
to belittle it a little bit.
I'm not belittling. He's gonna have poop on AMD. All right, we're gonna get rid of all these horizontal trend lines so you can do your best analysis, Fabian. There it is, right there. What do you got?
Okay, dude, look where we are. We're back at last year's levels, are we not? Yeah. So you're garbage, man. I mean, no, I shouldn't talk too bad about it because I think eventually it does rebound and can continue. It is second in the AI race, especially with the chip front. So keep in mind, I think if you're buying in the blood in the streets, eventually this stock will recover. But as of right now, it's not the case, and it is extremely weak. So once it does turn around, I think it can have a solid comeback, absolutely.
And the thing is, too, like at what point does NVIDIA's market share in advanced AI chips drop from 90%? Because right now it's at 90%. It was at 80-something%. I can't believe that it's actually getting higher, which to me is
not even
madness,
close.
right?
Yeah, it's not even close, really.
It's not close right now. So, I mean, I don't think that's sustainable, though. When do we get that quarter where Jensen says, we're not sure about next quarter, or next quarter is not going to be as strong as this one?
I mean, from a growth standpoint, obviously that's hard to sustain with Jensen, but I don't think that it's, from a market share standpoint, I don't think that it's Jensen going to be dropping the ball. I think someone needs to hit kind of a home run on that front to kind of just gain that ground. So, yeah, I think someone needs to catch up in order to kind of to gain any ground from a market share standpoint against NVDA. No doubt about that, guys. But yeah, I think so far the Tesla thesis is working out, Sharif. It does look like someone asked in the chat, what's the all-time high? It's around 414, okay? So we are just below that, about $8 or so on Tesla. So let's see, we have that catalyst coming out, looking for some showroom space in India. So, I mean, if we break this high a day and momentum steps in and that volume starts to pick up on the higher time frames, then sure enough, I do think we can go and test that 414 level in the near future. Maybe not today. We'll have to see the momentum, but again, the volume is starting to pick up on the 5-minute time frame, and we are making that push for the high day as of right now, guys. So continue to monitor that as well. I'm in that position, so we're taking a little bit off the top. We're trimming some, and Google's starting to pull back towards the volume-weighted average price as well, too. So again, we're just holding on to these positions because they are strong. So there's no reason for us to get completely out, but we are going to start trimming some as we are gaining ground here and as the underlyings are starting to appreciate. So again, I'm just, to be honest with you, I'm sitting here waiting for Adara to drop that news on Microsoft and be like, hey, this is their decision on whether they're going to add it to their balance sheet. You got it, Adara? No, maybe not yet. Okay, I hear her in the back. But yeah, guys, I mean, just to go back to our trade, Okay, yeah. So we're gonna go touch on our trade, guys. We're 2-0 as a unit, as a collective unit. We love it. So we got the cumulative P&L right here, guys. So continue to keep crushing it. Also, let's get these votes up here on the poll for the afternoon rundown, guys. Let's get that to 1,000 votes. We're almost there. So continue to vote, because then we're gonna vote on the long or short SPY. So I think this is fun. As you can see, our cumulative here, we're smashing it 2-0, undefeated so far as a collective unit. Let's keep the ball rolling on that one, guys. Yeah. Oh wow.
We're gonna send it to it.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Now we're off to Adara.
Microsoft has completed the formal portion of its meeting. It sounds like the Bitcoin proposal was not approved. They did name what proposals were approved. Bitcoin was not one of them. And they said that all the other proposals that weren't named were not voted to approve there. So that is something of note. We're going to get into what's happening now here. S&P 500 slightly down in the day, basically flat here. And the NASDAQ, exact same. They're both down 0.03% right now. Lots to be aware of here. Of course, we have Bitcoin on watch with regards to that Microsoft meeting and proposal. That meeting is still happening. CFO Amy Hood is currently speaking, but the formal portion, as I mentioned, is done. We also had Tesla on watch. We're going to talk about that ticker later as well. But the point we're going to make is there's a lot to look at here on this market today. It's been a really exciting day and week for the market, though certainly we're not having that Santa Claus rally as of right now. Here's Microsoft now down on the day here with a push lower. As mentioned, we did have Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy basically presenting and arguing that Microsoft should consider a Bitcoin investment. Shareholders did not approve the proposal. Then we have AI, which was actually down at one point, almost 9% of the day. Now we're up about 3.5%. They did beat on earnings per share and sales, but their Q3 revenue guidance and the revenue guidance for fiscal 2025 was a bit mixed. We also have Tesla on watch. This one's knocking on the door of new day's highs here, nicely above $400. As we have reports from Reuters that it's renewing its search here for a New Delhi showroom and currently working with real estate agents to that effect. Studies from Economics, fun fact, show that traders who subscribe to Trader TV Live have a profit and loss record that's truly worth bragging about. Join us and see the difference for yourself. And we are brought to you here by Worksport. Introducing a new discovery on the NASDAQ. Worksport, ticker WKSP. Worksport is a US-based manufacturer and rapidly expanding with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off-grid. Whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, Worksport has you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP. Discover the future of clean energy with Worksport. Now, though, we're going to discover the future of education over here with Neil and his lesson of the day. Take it away, Neil.
Thank you very much, Adara. Now that the ship has sailed on Microsoft's Bitcoin play, it's time to jump into our lesson of the day. So we all love earnings. We like that stocks move. And after earnings, stocks tend to move a lot. So therefore, you're a lot of times looking at your gap list or your high volume list in the pre-market, and you're looking at an earnings play, but the price action's all over the place. And it can make it a little bit tricky to get into something. I'm going to show you a few things where some setups using the price action that you have available to you look really good for either continuation plays or reversal plays. I'm going to start. We had three really big movers, one of them MongoDB. And first things first with Mongo, this was gapped up in the aftermarket. It actually pressed a 52-week high, so it was looking very strong. And when you come to the chart, everything about this in the aftermarket was screaming buy continuation, blue sky setup. But it's what happened this morning, which I think showed you an area to trade off of. Now, first off, I can draw, it's pretty obvious to draw some lines and charts for Mongo the way that it trades, a thinly traded name. Like you could see clearly I could draw a line at $345. I can draw you a support and resistance at $335. And then you have this obvious 320 level. So clearly you've got some levels that I think it would make sense to work off of. When you pull up the daily chart and you do this reversal, you kind of get the same thing. Like you're looking at about the 345, the 330, the 320. You get three places that you want to trade off, but that doesn't necessarily give you a trade. But when it gaps down, and when it's up here, I mean 345, okay, it has to come all the way back to green. Okay, fine. If it's down here, in the morning, you go to bed, you're like, yeah, if it's down here, maybe I want to buy it. But you're gapped underneath that level. And when you see the price action In the pre-market on light volume, that 20 level, it's back and forth. It's not really showing you a trade. But here's where it gets interesting. It's the midpoint of this range in the pre-market, but have a look-see just above here, like this 328 starts to hold, and suddenly the price that you want to trade off of is showing you support right going into the open, but double barrel resistance. So my first thought is, if a stock breaks out in the aftermarket and then gaps under, I'm thinking for a short trade because that's rinse some people. But the level I want to trade off of is 320. So what you end up seeing here is resistance above it at 328. So your trend underneath that resistance, and then whipsaw action at the open. But what you can do is, okay, well, if it breaks out here, I don't want to trade it. You're just waiting for a continuation play that gives you a trade off of that 320 level. It wicks people in and out at the open. You're just basically staying patient because you've already lined up 320, 335, and 345 that you want to trade off of. But right in here, just about 945, you start seeing these topping tail candles. Topping tail, struggling to get through 320. And then you actually have the breakdown underneath. Now this is where you're losing the 320 level, whether you want to jump in right away at the pre-market low or wait for it to try to press back above. This is where it tries to get back in, it presses, loses. You have entries in the 15 to 16 range that you can now hold to the lows while giving to that 320. Simple continuation type play. Now different is C3AI. Now C3AI, similar setup, strong aftermarket, gapping underneath. Well, where's your over-under level? This is not rocket science. The $40 level was an obvious one for anyone to look at. And I'll go to the daily chart. There's your 40. Prior resistance. On the 15-minute chart, where else are you going to look? It's the 40 level. Now, keep in mind, C3AI is a highly short-floated name. This is going to be more of a price area than a hard line in the chart. And you can see that borne out. It'll go 50 cents above and below that price whenever you're trading around it. So obviously, if that's the only level of interest, if it holds the open underneath there, you're looking short. That's what I was looking for this morning. And unless you shorted it literally right away for that scalp trade of $2, that's your short. Because after this, what ends up happening? Now you're in sit-out mode. Because when it retests that level, you've got wick bottom, higher low, higher low. That's not a short setup. That is a reversal candle with two separate higher lows going into your area. And what happens when it gets to 40? It dances around, dances around. Now here's where patience comes into mind. You know the level you want, right? What's the level that we're looking at? We said 40. Wait out that first half an hour, maybe even a little bit longer. Look what ends up setting up on the reversal play for C3AI. Look at the consolidation. It's dirty the entire time, but if you're patient enough and wait for it, you're waiting for this level to become important. Well, does it look important now? It holds 40 for 30 minutes. It holds the 40 level and then breaks away and gives you a 10% move. This is what patience is about. Look at all this crazy dancing around prices that you don't care about. But you got one that you do care about. When it matters, then you trade the stock. Now, I didn't trade it, so I can slap a fail on myself if I wanted to, but I wasn't looking at that stock today. It wasn't the stock I was looking at that particular time. That said, when you've got a key price level, you don't just have to jump in and over-trade it. Wait for the trade to set up. You know where you're keyed in. When does it show me what I want to see? Okay, fine, you could have broken it out here, great. But I think once it holds that level, you got longs there, you got dip buys out in front, and then you get the extended move. I'm going to leave you with one last one. How could I possibly talk about earnings plays without talking about Oracle? And this time, it's a little bit different. The expected move on Oracle was about 9% priced in by options. It got down there and held pretty much exactly at 9% in front of about 170 to 171. So you don't necessarily have the same obvious price. I mean, 180, I guess you can talk 180 being a big price. That does come into play right in here in the pre-market, but I just want to discuss that 9% down in that bottom. Sometimes it's just that simple where you've got one level that you want to look for a reversal on. The 180 level is so far away at the open, that's not your first look. And it never even gets there to trade off the 180. But if you just keep it simple, you know what? It wicks right into the prior low, complete rejection candle, just like it did here, higher lows at 173, holds the 173, and then higher lows into the pre-market high. This is another case of you're staring down one thing if you're trading this name. Does it hold this or does it not? If answer yes, does it consolidate with a higher low like it did before? Take the long. Same place. Where is the top in here? Doesn't quite make it all the way into 180, but these tops are about 178 resistance. Where does it go? Just underneath 178. This is why, while you might not want to trade post-market action in earnings, you can certainly learn a lot from the prices that end up mattering. So whether it's the aftermarket price, whether it's just identifying key price areas like a C3AI in that 40 level or the 320 on Mongo, that you wait for them to become significant and then set your trade up off of those. You could take a half an hour, it could take an hour. Be patient. If it's an earnings name, it's going to be volatile. You don't have to have it at 9:30, Oracle you could have, but you can just trade it an hour later and be perfectly fine because now the level that you want is showing you what you need. There's nothing wrong with honing in on a particular trade in a particular setup and then waiting some time for it to give you that trade, especially on earnings when you know the move could be big. There's your lesson of the day. Don't be afraid to trade earnings names, especially if you've got the right area to trade off of.
Neil's lesson of the day, everybody. Yeah, chum, man, because that's he dropped some wisdom there. Every day around noon hour, Neil's lesson of the day. Wisdom dropper. I wasn't allowed to say the other kind of dropper, but I'm allowed to say wisdom dropper. There it is. Shout out to Neil, man. No, seriously, great lesson. Thank you very much, Neil. Now he's coughing. Look what I did to him.
Yeah, he's coughing.
Well, because he was trolling the Cowboys.
He's walking pretty good. I
see what he did to Mendel?
Yeah, that was
He did not let Mendel off.
You know what? It was the cold stare where it just said it with a straight face.
Mendel was bitter here. He did not look happy about what Neil was saying.
Hey, man, it's not Neil's fault.
At least I'm not the one on the side of the trolling, because usually he's coming at me. I'm like, thank God it's not me.
It's not Neil's fault the Cowboys suck, that's for sure.
I'm going to have to take it from this side of the desk, too. From that side and this side. All right. That's what you get for being a Cowboys fan,
I used to be a big football guy, man, right? Playing back in high school and just obviously all the video games. So I was a really big Ravens fan. Yeah,
I asked you this before. What'd you play again?
I played free safety.
Free safety, that's right. So we have that in overlap. Yeah, but you
and junior, I played middle linebacker too, though.
You were lighting people up.
Man, I liked it. I loved football just from I played a lot of Madden, and then me and my boys used to play this game in elementary school where we'd hold up a pop bottle and you had to try to run through each other in the snow, right? In the snow, right? And it'd come out. And we just used to just light each other up. So that was it.
Football in the snow is a Canadian staple, but super hard as a running back.
So hard.
Can't get your footing.
No, it's hard. Brutal, and then hold an empty pop bottle, it just falls out. Yeah, so you had a fun 2 liter.
Good point.
So it's good stuff.
Got great lesson there. Thank you again, Neil. All right, let's go over some of these stocks that we've been involved. CDIOs, the last one I'm involved in right now. Got my beak wet there at 12s. Still putting in higher lows, higher highs. CDIO is what I'm talking about. Very respectful of the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. So I'm trying to pack my patience with this name to break and take that 114. So far, we have the highest print on the day at 14s, but we're not all that profitable on it. So we're looking to do a little bit better right now. I weaseled back into GXAI and I got some profitability off it. Then it stopped me out because it flat bottom broke through VWAP. So I don't want any more smoke on this one unless it breaks and takes that 6.5. There's a topping tail that goes into 6.5. That's where I wet my beak there, took out some profits. So now I want to stop seeing the bleeding of the lower lows and lower highs because right now it looks like a downward channel to me. I'm not going to use these horizontal areas of support and resistance anymore. It looks like a downward channel. So I need that trend to change. The only way that, in my opinion, that changes is if we put in a higher high. And a higher high has got to come vis-a-vis a 6.5 break and take. Not getting involved in it unless it does. So much so do I believe in that setup, I'm putting an alert for the high 40s, because I'd like to know if this one works its way back into 6.5. We'll weasel back into that. SERV at an important level over here as it drops back in to an area support 1440. I'm going to weasel my way into this with a small entry order. SERV dipped into the 10 exponential moving average, as well as a previous area of price action resistance. I'm talking about 1440 to 1450. We got 55s, but that's all right. We'll look to add more if we need. My first beak wetter going to be at 69s. You guys know how I trade. Come on now. Don't even have to ask. Nobody asked. So that's what I'm looking at right now, Joseph. As well, I want to mention one last one over here, QURE. What a hell of a curl up below the volume weighted average price, like $2, almost $2.50, I should say, removed from that 50 exponential area low. It still hasn't taken that 1614 HOD. If this takes out the high, watch out. QURE, great recovery, higher highs and higher lows, awfully respectful of the 10 exponential right now, my man.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Sharif, we're up to 953 votes on the afternoon rundown poll. So let's get that to 1,000, and then maybe we throw up the other poll. What do you think there, brother? Get that one rolling too. See what the bias is of this session there on that
Ready
one.
to go on that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull up the SPY chart so we can, I know Ram wanted me to have the SPY chart on yesterday.
Oh, not yet. We're not ready. We're going to get our poll up, the long short poll coming up soon. But then when it's time, we're going to get you to pull up the SPY chart as well too. Do I trade any small cap quantum stocks? No, I do not. I mean, I'm not saying that I won't, but as of right now, I'm not. I don't see anything coming up on my scanners. I do need to modify my scanners a little bit just to get those lower price target stocks, because I do have them set on a specific price range. So how much would it cost for? Oh, okay, Oscatorio. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But guys, I want to touch on something as well too. If I'm not the most active here, but I was showing Sharif. You guys can now add me here. There's the ad here. Yeah. And I'm not the most active, but I post once in a while. Maybe I'll do a little bit more for you guys there. So there's the handle there, guys. So throw it up. DM me if you guys have any questions or anything like that. So yes, fire up the DMs. Get them. It's a desert out there, so get them rolling. But guys, this is the stuff that I post, right? I'll post trades once in a while. I got Sharif cracking up about on this one too. Sold the chair to buy the dip and stuff like that. And then I'll start posting kind of the week ahead from an option standpoint. And then we just have some options positions as well here too, guys. So just keep on. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Add TraderTV.live as well too. Because I'm going to get them. We're going to start posting some videos on that stuff, and then some week ahead with some options criteria on that front, guys. So go ahead, fire up the ad. I will add you back. And if you have any questions about options, then feel free to DM me as well. I'll do my best to get through as many as I possibly can. I mean, I'll do it on my own time as well too. So just keep that in mind, guys. Looking forward to having conversations with you guys about that in the future. But yeah, okay, let's go. 993 votes. Let's get 7 more votes on the poll, guys.
Go, baby.
And then we're going to switch it up. We're going to get Fabian to throw up our new poll, because I'm really curious to see what we think of the overall market. We're back-to-back days of going long, but now the market is a little bit weak, guys. So let's see what the bias is in the overall chat. But Adara's got some groundbreaking news for us over at the desk.
Microsoft is still on watch here. We just had CEO Satya Nadella talking about their stats and their performance this year. Apparently now LinkedIn having 1 billion users, so be aware here. MSFT right now basically flat on the day. Clearly some resistance here around that 447.50 level. Still the pre-recorded portion, but as mentioned earlier, there is going to be a Q&A with CEO Satya Nadella, CFO Amy Hood, and also Brad Smith, who's involved in a board capacity as well. So that'll be coming through. Not sure when, but there will be a live Q&A. We've already had Amy Hood and Satya Nadella with their pre-recorded remarks. So the second I have any details there, I'll let you know. But it's also worth noting, I mentioned this earlier, just to recap, what happened was we did have Microsoft shareholders voting against the Bitcoin investment proposal. That did come through. So apparently all of shareholder proposals were voted against here, were rejected, including that proposal. But that is also preliminary votes. There is a small chance that they could change, but apparently the vast majority of votes had already been entered, and it looks like this proposal has been rejected, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, so if you put, I guess, money in the Kalshi, you made money on, well, I don't know how much you would make because it was only 13% chance, so they probably weren't paying all that well. In any event, I don't think you and I really thought any different, no? Like, I mean, we genuinely thought that it would get rejected.
Absolutely.
I didn't think it would be Microsoft that goes in. I guess maybe the selling feature is Satya Nadella is such, I don't want to call him a maverick, but he's obviously an agent of change, taking over the company after Steve Ballmer and the I guess the dry years of the Ballmer era, and then he comes in and completely changes things around. And, you know, so maybe, I guess that was the hedge there?
I mean, Michael Saylor's pitch to Microsoft is essentially just like Elon Musk saying, hey, code and buy more Teslas or something along those lines, right? It's for his benefit. I mean, so yeah, we'll take it for what it is. It's nothing crazy. We weren't expecting that at all, Sharif.
No, it wasn't.
Well, not yet anyways. It's the first proposal. Not saying it can't and it won't happen, but as of right now, there's no need for Microsoft to do so, I don't think, on that front.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's have a look at AI. I see you guys all yelling about AI in the chat. It was a hell of a move back up over here. For whatever reason, we went red. It looks like somebody was offloading a position, maybe that they were hodling for a while. We went red to green. We were green in the pre-market. We went red around 740, 730, something like that. Dipped all the way down to 35 2/3. Bottoming tail candle. I'll submit to you that the support came in at 37. It was a quick wham, bam, we're below 37 for like 1 second. So it looks like 37 was where buyers were stepping in. We're working our way well above that level now, 44.5. We're looking at that. The pre-market high around 46.5 with the after earnings high yesterday being right around that $50 area, 49 2/3 it looks like there. So AI, beautiful recovery, not even touching the 10 exponential moving average since 1140. So we're going on 40 minutes now of this one being, you know, in an aggressive uptrend. So good luck. We're packing our patience, possibly trying to weasel into this one on a nice pullback entry. So good strength right now for AI as, yeah, that recovers after, for whatever reason, selling off after earnings there, but recovering quite nicely. Cure just took out the high of the day. So now this one's in play, guys. Here we go. So KURE. We had that 16, 13, 16, 14, whatever that high was, that we put in at 940 and 945. We've taken that out, 1680 now, HOD. This is up a light kneel, 128%. It's a triple-digit winner today, knocking the door of 17. Let's have a look at the daily. Let's see what the situation is. Look, there looks like there is a local area resistance at around 19, a consolidation area bottom back from March all the way to June, mid-June when we drop big boy drop in there. It looks like an earnings day based on volume and price action. So expect possible resistance at 18 to 19 there if this KURE continues to go. But right now, it's looking awfully, awfully good. So we're going to pack our patience and keep an eye out on that. I'm back in SERV. There we go. Now we got the DCA, the planned dip trade. I'm looking to defend 14.25 over here. I almost wet my beak multiple times there at 14.70. It did cross. I was waiting at 69s. It did cross, but the spread was such that the bid didn't cross, so I didn't get filled. So SERV has some spread issues. I don't want to say liquidity issues because it's done about 13 2/3 million shares on the day, but I wasn't able to get printed despite multiple crosses of 14.69. We've got a cost basis now of $0.50, $14.50. So looking for this one to hold up. If it drops below the $0.25, I'm done, Joseph. What are you looking at?
Yeah, beautiful point there, guys. Yeah, we're just still holding in this TSLA. I took some off of Google as well too here, so we're continuing to move past through VWAP here on Google. So we'll pull that up real quick. And I don't know if this is a good analogy or comparison, but I like to use this. So even right now, there may not be a specific use case for Bitcoin other than the ledger itself, blockchain. But again, at one point, Blockbuster thought that no one was going to watch movies online. Okay, so just speaking of innovation, eventually Blockbuster went bankrupt, and now Netflix is the absolute communications giant that it is. So I'm not saying that may be the case. I don't think that Bitcoin is going to replace fiat currency, but just be prepared for innovation and growth, all right? So it is a new technology. I think it's a fantastic technology, and with that comes the price that it currently is, all right? So that's the analogy I like to use. the Netflix and Blockbuster one, because eventually I do think there will be some adaptation with Bitcoin. We just may not know it yet because it is still relatively new, only about 10, 13 years old, okay? So keep that in mind. So yeah, Google, guys, we're holding on to Google, and let's see what Tesla's up to. I do think that we go and break the high a day. We are pulling back, so a double top here, which may be pivotal on this one. So let's see what happens here with Tesla, guys. Continue to let me know what you're looking at. FUTU, yeah, for sure. Let's take a look at FUTU Holdings and see what it is up to. Yeah, it's slowly selling off. I wonder if there's any news on this one. But yeah, putting in a pretty brutal day on the session, trading at the lows of the session as well too. Let's see if there's any, so look at these key support and resistance levels you have on FUTU. I don't know too much about this thing. Let me pull it up for you guys real quick. So yeah, let's see what they're up to. FUTU, limited investing holding company engaged in offering digitalized brokerage platforms. Okay, yeah, so brokerage platform. I mean, from a daily perspective, let's take a look and zoom out a little bit here. Yeah, oh, what a monster run here. I wonder what this catalyst was moving into FUTU. But now we're kind of pulling back. We do have this isolated pivot here with the volume signature, so keep that in mind. If you do break these key support levels, then expect some more downside on this underlying. So, yeah. Tough look on this one. I do think there's going to be some, just from a technical standpoint, guys, from a technical standpoint, I do think because of this volume signature, that inverted hammer, and then the downward momentum. So I do think that there's going to be some more foreseeable downside on that underlying. Now, Kyle, Netflix started out just being a blockbuster that mailed DVDs to you. Exactly, you would see that in Walmart. That would be like saying BTC started out as an equal alternative to the dollar. Yeah, kind of. I don't disagree. Thank you for the $10 super chat. It's just an analogy. I said it wasn't the best one. But again, we don't know what it's going to be in the future, right? We can't see the future, Kyle. So again, with something as innovative as that, what do you got going on there, buddy? You're fist pumping there.
Oh, I'm talking to Chile Nightmare.
Okay.
He's telling me about his blockbuster endeavors.
Yeah. Come on, talk to me in my ear, whisper in my ear.
Joseph's getting jealous, bro. Ray was talking to him one time, and I was like, I don't hear what he's talking. He's like, don't worry, bro.
I did that.
No, Ray was talking to you,
and
I couldn't hear, and I was like excluded from the conversation.
Yeah, okay, so that's right. But I mean, you're fist pumping. Usually, when you're fist pumping, you usually got a couple bangs in there. You're taking some off the top there.
Joseph, so we're about to hit a fist bump right now because we're taking boom. Oh. I couldn't get filled there. Let's see if this one gets filled. KURE, I got the dip trade though. Got 44s, wet my beak multiple times looking for this one to move back into 17. KURE, the reason I got in that level, exactly what I told you guys, there was a level of resistance. Boom, we just took out the top. Level of resistance at 16.10, 16.15. It dipped down into that level. I punched in, so we took out some shareage there. Looking for this one to move back though. Wow. I should have taken a lot more. We'll talk more about that, though. Sorry, guys. We got to send you to Adara.
Small cap recap. We're going to do it from here because we're still listening to that Microsoft shareholder meeting, the Q&A with Amy Hood, who's the CFO, Satya Nadella, CEO, and Brad Smith, who's involved as well in the company. That's happening right now. So I'll be letting you guys know if there's any updates right now. Currently, we just have Satya Nadella talking about how the company is a platform and a partner company. It's also worth noting here, these questions were pre-submitted, and what they're doing is looking at representative questions. So of all the questions submitted, basically the company took questions that would kind of summarize or highlight all these concerns. In the meantime, though, we're going to be concerned with what's happening in the IWM, which is just barely positive on the day. Look at this slightly lower high here. We get to that 238.20 on the 15-minute chart, quite a bounce from when we last looked at this chart back at 10:20. Then we make a slightly lower high here, wick into that 238.20 and fall a little bit lower. Right now we're around 237.90s. Let's see how the IWM shakes out in an area that could be pretty pivotal for that Russell 2000. Now in terms of small caps on watch, we have QURE making new day's highs here. This is Uniqueware. This one has a short float of 7.4% here, market cap of $838 million, announcing here that they have reached an agreement with the FDA with regards to an accelerated pathway for its Huntington disease treatments, or one of its treatments here. Then we also had an upgrade here to strong buy from Raymond James. There's also EYEN. No new news here for Inovia, but they did announce last week here a $1.9 million registered direct offering. They are a penny stock currently trading around 12 cents, short float of 7% here for EYEN. Those are the main two that I'm seeing moving right now, but there's also that CMRX, which was on watch earlier today and is kind of just below that previous pivotal area of support around $2.80. This one does have a float of about 75 million shares, market cap of roughly $250 million. Lots of small caps to be aware of, as you've seen with Sharif there, trading all those up a storm. So make sure if you're enjoying all of the small cap coverage, mega cap coverage, and everything in between, take a minute to like and subscribe to the show. Back to
That's the guy who was getting mad that I was making noises. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I seen that. I mean, make more.
I know. Well, that's what I told him. I'm like, I do it for you, brother.
Just for you.
What are you looking at,
Coffee, water?
Joseph?
Yeah, you know what, guys? I'm still looking at the same thing. So we're going to switch it up a little bit. Let me know in the chat what you guys are looking at. And make sure you guys get those votes in. We're only sitting at 300 right now, folks. So let's get those votes in and see what we're going to do. I have a strong feeling. I don't even have to look at the poll. And I think it's going to already be a lopsided decision. So we'll see what we do. I mean, Kyle, hopefully you voted. I know a couple people in the chat voted. They're saying SPY long. So Kyle, get that vote in and get your peers to participate.
Yeah.
But guys, let's look at the top volume trading stocks this session so far. In first place, we have, as usual, NVDA with 103 million shares traded. Tesla sitting in second with 52.2 million. PLTR with 54.5 million, SMCI in fourth place with 54 million, and then SoundHound in fifth with 49.4 million. Let's take this stock has been trending the past little bit, Sharif. So let's take a look at SoundHound from a daily perspective. And you can see that we had an extremely bullish breakout on this underlying asset here. And one thing I'm always going to point out, look at this volume step in on these breakout candles. This is exactly what you want to see. So if you were involved in SoundHound on this breakout and you had this volume as confirmation, then there is zero reason for you to get out of this position, especially with that type of volume supporting your thesis, all right? So really good look on SoundHound. Unfortunately, I haven't been trading this thing, and I feel like I'm feeling a little Romo on this, because it has been trading so well, and that's what you want to stick with. You want to stick with stocks that are trading really well. But from an intraday perspective, we do have a couple choppy days, but you do get those buyers stepping in around VWAP multiple times. So we have really strong trending days here, and then you get the buyers just continually buying any dip back up again on SoundHound. And then now we're at some key resistance levels. So let's see what happens in the coming days. But as of right now, we're going to send it off to Adira.
We have WBA here, Walgreens Boots Alliance. This is halted here on volatility, up about 6%. Wall Street Journal reporting that the company is in talks to sell itself to Sycamore Partners, which is a private equity firm. This deal could reportedly come as early as next year. So just to summarize here, we did have Wall Street Journal reporting that Walgreens is looking to sell itself to a private equity firm, Sycamore Partners, with the deal coming to close as early as next year. So keep an eye on, it looks like the first half of fiscal 2025 for some WBA news. Again, it is currently halted. We're seeing a theoretical auction price right now of $9.64, but that number can, of course, change. If I see anything else, I will let you know.
Yeah, this is really interesting with Walgreens Boots Alliance, because they've been really trying to change their business model in the States, just from focusing on your retail pharmacies. They're diversifying to clinics and long-term health, long-term care for seniors. They really are trying to expand their moat, but it has been a tough road to hoe. So you wonder really whether they want to kind of do that whole turnaround in the public markets rather than take it private. Kind of be able to focus on it, stay out of the public eye. I think dude, I don't know if you've been to Walgreens or CVS in the States lately.
You said
it's
shabby.
like going into Shoppers Drug Mart in the 90s, bro.
Yeah,
it is hideous.
It's shabby.
It's not like the standard in the States, usually it's higher than Canada. Okay, let's just call a spade a spade. This is one of those areas where that's not the case.
No way.
It's really behind. And this is like what my family does. This is like our business, you know what I mean? So I go in there and I can tell you things that there isn't that much love behind
Yeah,
it,
there's
Joseph.
no love there. I mean,
Anyway, it's
if your store's not appealing, people don't want to go into it. So
no, it's more than that too. Like you go in there's nobody working. You have to look for somebody. There's one or two people. Everything's locked up because everybody's stealing. So to get somebody to buy, I don't know, shave it. What's it called? Razors.
Razors, yeah.
Anything, Joseph. Like it's a hideous business model.
That's one of my pet peeves, though. Like going into Walmart and Canadian Tire, it's next to impossible finding any employees.
Multiply that by like 4 or 5 down there.
You know what I mean? There's nothing more frustrating than not being able to find an employee in Walmart trying to find what you're looking for. So yeah. Anyways, what do you got going on for trades?
All right, let's talk about them right here. I see what you guys are saying, LMB photos. Walgreens has a huge image problem in the USA. Shout out to you, my man. Vivid Distortion goes on to say, you were right, Sharif. I mean, it depends on the area where the store is located, but yeah, they're run down. You're absolutely right. Like, I mean, the thing is, I gotta kind of, you're right in a sense, but let me push back on that a little bit. I've been to them in Miami. I've been to them in Chicago. I see my sister almost every year in SoCal. In a nice area in SoCal, and they're the same, to be quite honest with you. So I don't really see too much of a difference, but it looks like, you live down there, obviously, so you probably see a lot more of them than I do. All right, let's talk about this one right now. SERV, weaseling in my way into this one, Fabian, trying to hold that 14 and a quarter. We're getting higher lows currently on the 5-minute look. I'm looking at wet my beak there at 69, as you guys know how I trade. So we're looking at that. I'm also in GXAI for a retake of the volume weighted average price. This one's kind of slow, very small size. I'm putting my stop at the area low. So if this one makes a new low, breaching 560 into the 5 mid-50s, that's it. We're ending that trade. CDIO also came in against me. Where's it at? Here it is. Came in against me, but I had taken the majority of the position out already. So when it came into VWAP, I said, Sharif, add. It's at VWAP. It's held VWAP on previous occasions. It's up 32%. And that's exactly what I did. Added at 102, but the move back up, not forthcoming. Okay, now it is, I guess. 106 now showing up on the ask. We'll see if this one wants to retrace back into the high side. RGTI, I know you guys were yelling about that, and I was lamenting not having been in it. 681 HOD. Ugly topping tail candle, but again, don't put too much stock into one topping tail candle with these small cap gappers. It is not the same as seeing a topping tail candle on like a Mag 7, for example. In addition to that, it's still above the 10 and much closer to the highs than anywhere else. Lows, VWAP, take your pick. So this one could be a good candidate on a retracement. How deep of a retracement it needs to be, that's going to be up to you. Right now, it's already breached the 10 on a wick basis, but was able to get up above the 10 exponential moving average on the 5 quickly. It's still lower low, though, and lower high than the previous candle on RGTI. What are you looking at, Joseph?
I just was looking at SoundHound as I was speaking it as being one of the top volume stocks on the session. It now broke those key resistance levels, Sharif, around 15.30, trading around $15.60 on the session. So a really nice breakout. And sure enough, we have the volume supporting the thesis. So if you caught this breakout, this high day break, then congratulations to you on SoundHound, because it is trading really well and the volume is there, which is extremely important. You're not battling the volume. You're not getting chopped up outside of this kind of consolidation phase, but you're getting the clean breakout with the volume supporting that. So I do expect some continuation on that asset. But guys, I'm just doing a little bit of just basic technicals here on BTC. Because I do have a hefty position, I'm by no means looking to hedge some downside in this right now. I still think the primary trend is to the top side, but I also have to be prepared just in case there can be a longer term duration where this underlying wants to depreciate in price. So I'm just doing some technicals, and I have to think to myself, do I want to start selling some calls against this position, IBIT being that once we break this kind of $43,000 mark? I don't know if we're going to. Maybe it's just a wick out, but there's one thing that is slightly alarming to me, and I mean, it's not blood in the streets or anything to go crazy about, but we had that massive wick down day where we pushed all the way down to 91K, and then we pushed back up. But it's just the volume and the print that is like, hey, is this alarming? Because we have had the inability to break the top side of that, now I have to be wary of this print. It's not isolated or anything along those lines, But this is an indecision candle with large amounts of volume, larger than average in the past X amount of sessions. So that's something that I'm always going to be keeping an eye on from that standpoint. I do think as of right now from the current price action of this underlying that we do break 93,000. Are we going to hold it? I don't think so. I think that's a buying opportunity. This is just a potential consolidation phase. And the reaction to Microsoft not putting it on their balance sheet is really, really quiet. It's nothing crazy. It didn't dump the underlying. It more or less held. So I think that if it were to go the other way, and they were going to, I think that the buyer exuberance would have stepped in and pushed this thing to new all-time highs. But as of right now, that is not the case, guys. So just keep that in mind. I think the crypto community is perceiving this very, very well. We're not dumping. We're not putting in that crazy 10% dump or 15% dump. We're holding these levels relatively strongly. So I think that it will continue, and it's only a matter of time until we start to recover on Bitcoin. But as of right now, we're going to breaking news with Adara.
We still have the Microsoft conference going on, but we also have a move now here in JP Morgan. As you can see here, that is a 1 million share volume candle on the 15-minute chart. We get as high as that previous resistance of 248, pull back. Basically, we do have that Goldman Sachs conference going on right now. I mentioned some comments from Goldman Sachs' own CEO earlier, basically saying that the Trump administration will be good, likely good for the banking sector. But basically, JPM's consumer CEO here, Marianne Lake, basically said that she's expecting modest deposit growth in 2025, but is not expecting strong recovery in mortgage markets. It's also worth noting here, I'm also seeing some comments apparently from consumer CEO Marianne Lake saying that apparently net incomes are going to firm up. So keep an eye here on, looks like strong outlook for deposit growth and net income growth for JPM going forward to 2025, guys. Back to you.
All right, Fabian, can we show this? I just want to show that this is the Optimus. Tesla just posted this on the gram. And so this is Optimus walking down a hill. So obviously he's not that coordinated yet, but like let's actually keep in mind that this is a robot that's untethered. I'm assuming thinking for itself. It's walking down a hill on uneven ground. There it is, walking back up.
Everybody walks down a hill like that.
Zero sight. So Brendan just told me that the robot here is navigating with feel or sensors, zero sight. So they're not using optical sight in order to be able to balance itself. I think that's saying things, obviously. I think this is sick, dude. I mean, again, how many years out, Joseph? An entirely different story. But this thing's walking on its own. I think this is cool as hell, man.
I'm going Optimus. I'm taking back my robo-taxi. Yeah, I'm going Optimus, man. This thing is
the robo-taxi.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Imagine having 2 or 3 of these guys walking around with you at all times.
Dude, are you kidding me?
And then from
the hell out of this thing.
And then imagine this from a military standpoint. What can happen?
That's the scary part.
That's the scary.
Yeah,
that is insane. Once Alex Karp gets his hands on some Optimus,
keep that out of Alex Karp's hands.
Keep that out of that guy's hands,
bro. Once Alex gets his hands on it,
once Alex Karp is like, all right, we can implement some defense aspects in the Optimus, and then it's game over. I think.
Unreal.
So,
Unreal. Let's read some of these comments. What's up, Obi? What's the probability, Obi, saying, of Tesla turning into a defense taker, or one of the things they do? They do multiple things, Obi, so that could be one of their things. I don't know how Elon feels about the whole military application. I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he cares or if he doesn't care. Personally, I actually don't know, so I can't comment on that. But he's had reservations in the past, Joseph. He will not make motorcycles. Because I believe someone in his family was hurt by that. Yeah. So he's insisted that Tesla will not make EV or whatever electric motorcycles. So he's put his foot down with certain things in the past. I don't know if this is one of them. We're just speculating right now. Pretty Panda, Joe Dub, 2015 just called, and it's from Boston Dynamics. I know they're good. I know Boston Dynamics is up there. I love how you have to troll us with that though. But point taken, Pretty Panda. You're absolutely right about that. Military robot, says Ron Campbell. Small cap gapper extraordinaire, Scott H. WBA may fill that big gap from 13 to 15 bucks. We'll have a look at that in a hot second, Joe.
Sure.
Scott? 2 New York Cents goes on to say, that robot reminds me of my Vroom robot. I guess it does the same when it runs into stairs, so it won't fall down. That's hilarious. Adara's at the big desk.
More updates here from JPM Consumer CEO Marianne Lake at this Goldman Sachs conference, saying we mentioned here that they were expecting stronger net income, saying that's going to firm up. Actually expecting net income and expenses for Q4, not just fiscal 2025, to be, quote, a little better than consensus. Also expecting a 45% more or less here increase in investment banking fees and 15% increase here in market revenues for Q4. So basically, just to summarize, Marianne Lake, JPM Consumer CEO, saying that there's likely to be an increase in expenses and market revenue here for Q4 and an increase in investment banking fees going forward. So keep an eye on JPM. These comments at this conference, still moving that stock. Also, WBA did open up there, guys, around $11. Back to you.
All I hear is margin expansion when I hear higher fees. That's what I hear. I don't know what you think about that. All I hear is margin expansion. And obviously, it's a service business, so the margins are not going to be like, SaaS margins. But hey, man, they're respectable. JPM, obviously, in my portfolio, not directly, but vis-a-vis XLF. That's not in my swing. That's in the long term.
Oh,
I don't
got XLF in the LT? Oh, you've
January
been
1st of this year. Well, 3rd, whatever it was. Yeah.
I've been preaching XLF for...
Well, I've held it almost all year, year to date. I've been holding it since the new year. That's not the swing, though. That's like
that's
RSP.
LT. Yeah,
the RSP.
Absolutely.
RSP is like what we say about an IRA.
Yeah.
So what you guys would say, a tax-free savings account. We kind of have a few of those here. They have different rules around them.
Registered.
Exactly, registered savings plan.
Yeah.
There's RRSP. Anyway, okay, let's have a look at what we're doing over here on SERV, because finally we're doing well on this name. We just took out some levels. Where am I long? On SE42s, we just took out some at 60s. This is weaseling up into that $0.75. That's where I've got my next beak wetter here on SERV. Holds at 14.25 and then starts rounding. And you love to see that, because when it's rounding, by definition, it's putting in higher lows and higher highs, and that's kind of what I wanted to see there. So we'll see if this one wants to test 15 or thereabouts. That is the high of the day. Pardon me, Fabian? Okay, am I sending it to Adara or am I doing it here? Okay, in 1 minute. Sounds good. I'll get that ready in a second. Joseph, what do you got over there?
Yeah, just looking here at Tesla, guys, we did make new highs of days. I think if this momentum continues, that we go and push for that all-time high, guys. I mentioned this earlier in the session. If that momentum picks up, as it kind of didn't really, but the volume did step in, I do think that we can go and push for those all-time highs. And if we get relatively close, I think that buyers are going to step in and just push this price higher and higher. Maybe not today, but relatively soon, guys. We're not too far. I measured just the other day how far off we were. That was yesterday, actually. We were of the all-time highs on Tesla. Now trading higher. I think it's only a matter of time. So, we did hit 4. Is that? Oh, no, on the weekly. Okay, so yeah, around 409. Yeah, we're knocking on the door of it, guys. And I think once we break that all-time highs, we're going to be in blue skies, and new price discovery can step in. And I think that just sends the price higher. I mentioned this. I think we do see a 5 in front of Tesla in the near term. So it maybe not anytime soon, but within a couple of months or even by halfway through next year, guys, I do think we can continue to that one. So I'm going to take a little bit off. But yeah, I'm going to take a little off, and we're going to send it off to Sharif for the
Joseph.
Yes,
Imagine trading with someone else's capital instead of your own. That's what it means to be a funded trader at Trade the Pool. And this is how it works. First, you complete the evaluation program by meeting the profit targets. Once you succeed, you trade the pool's capital, which allows you to trade with up to $260,000 in buying power. And the best part is you keep up to 80% of the profits while the firm takes all the risk. It's the ultimate way to trade, whether you're a beginner or professional trader. So go on, check it out, tradethepool.com. Check out the link in the description, Fabian, or do the nice and modern way. Go on and scan that QR code on the bottom right of your screen. Shout out to Mitch. Shout out to everybody there at Trade the Pool. Mitch coming on the show this morning with some more trade ideas. In case you don't know who I'm talking about, Mitch Koch. He comes on every day, say around 8:45. Not every day, sorry. Tuesdays at around 8:45. Always has some banger trade setups for us. Shout out to Mitch. Joseph, what are you looking at?
Yeah, guys. I'm actually looking at the poll here, Sharif. We got 628 votes, guys. We're gonna close this one at 1 o'clock, and then we're gonna document the trade because we do have that other poll. And don't forget, guys. I know one thing that I think a lot of people in the chat are gonna be excited about is the GME earnings. Adira, I'm right. We have GME after the bell, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, we have GME. Yeah, at 4:05. So if you have any questions, I don't even need Chat GPT. You got Adira really, so just ask her anything you need, and she'll get it up for you. But yeah, we have GME after the bell, guys. I mentioned this yesterday. I just think it's going to be so hard for this stock to get back up to these levels. I don't know if the earnings report. I don't think the earnings report is going to be able to sustain that or support that kind of move. So we'll keep that in mind. Let's see if I guess the memers step in and then we continue to push this price higher. It's trading off the lows around 18 bucks. But again, I just don't think that this is something you should be invested in for the long term. If you're looking for some speculative fun, and mind you, subjective, just totally my opinion, there's a lot of better companies fundamentally than other than just trading these kind of memes. But again, if anybody's in this position and or bag holding, I do wish that it does go up to those levels because I think it would be fun trading it as well too. You get that volume stepping in, that volatility stepping in, so it can be extremely fun on that front. But as just from a fundamental standpoint, it is a dying business. Everybody buys their games online now. I haven't purchased a game in a long time, so again, a lot of the kids are just downloading it on the PS5s, and no need to go into the store at all, except for maybe to buy the system. So yeah, just add an SMCI to my sticky note. Nice, John. Yeah, Sean, hey man, it's just my opinion. So keep that in mind. Let's get those votes up, guys. We only have about 9 minutes left. We're gonna close it and then document the trade. Yeah, so we'll see what's going on with that front as well too. But yeah, guys, I'm holding on to this Google. We don't have too much size left in this Google, only about 5% or so, not even. But again, if we can break and hold VWAP, then maybe we add because that can be a second trade. And I like how Obi points this out. He's like, yeah, is that a trade within a trade? And I think that can be potentially one, especially if the volume steps in, and then we can look to go and test those high days on the break with Google on the break of this key resistance level. But again, Tesla's slowly crawling higher, sitting around 408 bucks. So only about $6 more until we reach all-time highs there, Sharif, on Tesla.
It's ridiculous.
The cyber one.
Yeah, I like it. 409.09 HOD on TSLA. And I love how Elon took to X, I was about to say Twitter, a couple of days ago, and he's like basically just trolling everybody who's short Tesla because it's going back into 400. You know he gets enjoyment from that because he takes it personally when he's short it.
Think about how mad he was when
remember
Bill Gates. Yeah, Bill Gates, and he had a hefty position. A hefty short position on. I just don't understand why he would do that. I mean, why would you do that though?
I don't know, man. I guess he was looking at it as a trade. I have no idea. I'm not defending. I'm not a fan of his either.
Yeah, I just don't.
I know he's a big achiever. He's a major achiever. So there's no disrespecting that.
But there's so many other companies that are actually legitimately garbage and not had a growth rate that Tesla had over the past X amount of years.
I agree.
So why would you short one of the strongest companies on the planet? Yeah.
Have at it, baby.
Yeah, exactly. By all means, dude.
Looks like we're going to get in trouble here with GXAI again, okay? So this one is, this one is rejecting VWAP from the sell side. So that possible move back up and curling above VWAP, I'm talking about GXAI, not forthcoming quite yet. I haven't stopped out because I have my stop below 60 pennies, so we're going to have to pack our patience to see if that triggers. But this is quite concerning to me. GXAI not curling above VWAP right now, not looking good either. So we're going to have to, we're going to have to be careful with this one. This is the one that I kind of want to look at right now. QURE is at the area that I like. It's around that 16 area, 620 area. It's at the 10 exponential on the 5, but it's looking awfully flat bottom breakish. Why do I say that? We got that high at 1740, 1739 technically, and it's been a symphony of lower highs with 1620 or thereabouts, maybe 16 and a quarter. acting as local support. But it's lower high, lower high, lower high with that flat bottom. We know what that is. That's a descending wedge, and usually it resolves in the downside. So I don't want to be quick to try to take it off the 10 exponential just because it's at the 10 exponential. I did like this name though at this level. You know what is exactly what I'm going to do? I'm going to weasel in here, Joseph, and I'm going to give this one a tight stop to below 16. Come what may. We'll give it 88s, and then I'm going to have to give it a bit of room because it's a bit of a spready ticker. So we're throwing that on there. We're going to throw it's not that spready, Adara. She got excited because it's only like a 4-penny spread. Adara trades stocks with like dollar spreads. So this doesn't meet her standard. I can speak on her behalf in that regard, but she'll wax poetic about that later. In any event, we're going to give this one the old community college try and see what happens there. Looking for 16 1/4, 16 to hold up. Price action support in addition to the 10 exponential moving average. So that's what I'm looking at there on QURE. There's also RGTI holding the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. Let me show them what I mean here, Fabian. This is the one, RGTI, quantum computing name. Wayne was just telling Neil about it right now. Shout out to Wayners. This is holding the 10 exponential, but it's not forthcoming in its ascent, continuing to kind of whiffle and waffle at around that quarter to third of a dollar range. RGTI, good move on the day, but not really giving you that big move up quite yet. Well, at least not yet. Somebody's calling me from Egypt on WhatsApp, and I've done this before. I picked up the phone and we put it on speaker.
Answer it.
And then the person got upset.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
someone from Turkey called me yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but I think they knew that I wanted to get my hair done or something like that.
Don't say that without preparing me, bro. You're killing me, dog.
Yeah, but hey, man.
But straight up, I heard it's one of the best places because those guys like smash out like 5 surgeries a day. So apparently, if you go here, they suck. Apparently, it's amazing in Turkey. That's what I'm hearing.
So there you go. Yeah.
There you go, bro. So
it's a boys' trip. I know a couple of me and
Turkey's
my boys.
A sick place.
Yeah. A couple of my boys are struggling up top with the salad. So if we can step outside of the group chat and get that group chat over to Turkey, then maybe
you're killing me, dog. I love your energy, Joseph. Straight up, bro. Straight up energy. We're gonna take some more. I don't know what's going on with this name over here. It's not updating. Let's see if that. I don't know, something's going on with the chart here on QURE. That's kind of concerning. But what's not concerning is it's moving up. Okay, so what you guys are seeing on the bottom corner of your screen, that is Andre. He's the third member of the production team. What he's doing right now is he's actually filming Neil do the lesson right now, or his trade that's going to be posted on social media. So shout out to Andre. He sometimes sits over here. Sometimes you'll see him in the back there. So shout out to Andre, great guy and great to work with all the time. Guys, we're going to take out some more here on Cure because we're like 60 pennies on the money, and I'm going to wet my beak bang on QURE. Going to look for this one to take 17 next. Good move up off the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. I like this trade. We'll see if it can give us a bit more. The chart is acting up though. I do apologize, not sure what's going on with it. But we'll pack our patience, see what the situation is there. All right, let's see what everybody's talking about in the chat. T-Man, QSI. You think he wants us to look at QSI, Joseph? Yeah, he might. Okay, so we'll do that for him. Yeah, we're kind of nice. All right, let's go on to QSI. This one was running yesterday, if my memory serves me right, and it does big move up yesterday. Okay, so this one is moving de novo, guys. This is getting a bid now. Look at the volume relative to earlier. The biggest volume candles on the day are happening right now. I love when that happens. That means we're not picking up the scraps left of the trade. Big breakout here in QSI. Shout out to who called this out again. I want to give him credit. To T-Man. Shout out to dang T-Man there. Shouting out QSI. I'm in too many trades, bro. I gotta wither it down a little bit here. I've got no more screens left. Joseph, what's going on? We're gonna take out RTI.
Got a lot going on, man.
Yeah, bro. QSI. All right, we're gonna go into the NQ on QSI. Have a look at this 1 penny spread right now. Is this gonna halt? Why is it holding at 30? Okay, so it looks like we've got a seller of note. There it goes.
Whoa.
Takes out 30, Joseph. QSI is going. It's a mover from yesterday. Another 17% today. It's on the warpath to the high side right now, breaking through 2 1/3. Good strength here for QSI, and it just behooves me to give you the details on it. This is the one where we didn't have too much in the way of details. 98 million share float, and the short float on QSI. Shout to Trade Ideas, 5.25%. So decent, not big, but not too bad either. 240 now showing up here. This is really squeezing. Do we have a headline on this? No. So it's from yesterday. It's like a holdover from yesterday, finding the momentum now. I'm not going to punch in at highs like this. It's just not my style. I need it to pull back into a predictable area. We're going to take off another small cap gapper from the side chart here and put on QSI because we definitely got to monitor this now that it's trading like this, Joseph.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there, guys. I'm just keeping my eyes on TSLA here as of right now because we are continuing to test those highs of days. So I'm curious if we can go and push for that all-time high on this session. I do think that it can be in the books totally, especially if this volume is sustained. So we're going to continue to monitor this as well, guys. Let me know in the beautiful Oscatorio. So DM me any questions. I'm going to do my best on my own time there. When I'm just doing some analysis on the side, I'll answer all those questions that you guys have on X, guys. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure. I never really took a look at the Qs today on this session. So let's take a look at the Qs. Putting in another weekday. But we're at all-time highs on this thing as well, too, guys. So this is totally understandable. These breaks have not been that clean, in my opinion. You have the break, you have this all-time high break here, and then essentially you don't look back. It doesn't even test the highs. But then when you have this break, you get a dip below that all-time high. And then the same thing here. We're starting to pull back a little bit. So let's see if we can continue. I only think this is a consolidation phase because if we have stocks like Microsoft and Google starting to move as well too, this is going to drag the Qs higher. We do know that the Qs was lagging the SPY on the all-time high breaks, but now it's starting to catch up, all right? And I think it's only a matter of time that this ETF continues to move higher because we have put in consecutive green days on Microsoft, so keep that in mind. I mentioned this when we were in the gap, and once we broke these key resistance levels, that there is going to be some topside in the foreseeable future. So that has been the case. We have been holding the lows on Microsoft. We had the inability to breach that 405 level, and continue to the top side. So that held as really nice support on Microsoft. And now Google as well too. We still know that probe, that antitrust probe is still going on, but that's totally fine because as of right now, they don't even really care because we're gapping up here, Sharif, and we're not far off of all-time highs on Google. This is a stock that I think that you go and buy at any dip. And sure enough, if you got in at these dips, you are now sitting on some pretty pennies. And I mentioned this pattern before, guys, with that V consolidation phase, and then you have that dip, and then another consolidation, and then the breakout. We had that strong breakout, and now that trend's continuing. You had these support levels holding, so that is really key. And I mentioned this pattern on Tesla as well, too. Really strong bullish patterns. I've yet to come up with a name for it, but again, here it is on Tesla, and then it hasn't looked back, essentially. So, guys, I'm actually curious in the chat, because Neil brought this up the other day. We need a name for our trade. So, guys, put it in the chat.
Good call.
Yeah, Neil said that, and I said, Neil, give me a name. And he said, no, it's our job, but now I'm putting it on you guys. So what is the name of the trade? What should we name our trade? It is 1 o'clock, and we're going to get ready to put it up. We're only at 772 votes. But, guys, let me know in the chat. Let Sharif know. Tag me and Sharif. What should we name our trade? Because I don't really have any ideas, but I'm curious to see. And the best one we're going to pick. So let's see what you guys think. Okay, there. Okay, Sam, that was a quick one there.
What do you say? What do you say?
No, I was just
name it Weasel. Okay,
name it Weasel. No, we're not naming it Weasel. Salad dressing. Don't like that one. But yeah, guys, come on. Let's think of a solid name. Gamble of the day. Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Come on, bro. You know what I mean? But we're gonna send it off to Adair. When we get back, Sharif's going to pull up the SPY chart, and we're going to log our 3rd trade ever. Let's see if we can go undefeated again as a unit, guys. 3-0. We're on a stellar move, but off to Adara for right now.
It is time here for the crypto segment. There's a lot to talk about in crypto, but quickly I want to touch on the fact that we did get our 3-year note auction, 4.117% versus 4.152% previous, so a little bit lower than the previous print. Here's the Bitcoin daily chart. I was mentioning earlier, I'd like to see what we do here if we can hold that 97,000, because that would continue this trend of higher highs, higher lows in the daily chart. And then we close, or not, we're not closing the day yet, but we actually have wiped here into yesterday's low of day. That's going to be around that 94.5 area. So maybe a key area for Bitcoin, but is it the only weak crypto name of the day? That would be a resounding no. I want to talk about XRP USD here. This is its second straight day to the downside. We did have an appearance from Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, on apparently that was his first ever, I believe, CNBC appearance there. So what happened basically was the company did make its news debut there. And I guess it was not super well received. I guess there were some concerns potentially of what's going on here with its ongoing SEC investigation. That two giant bearish engulfing candles here for XRP. Then we also, another one that was pretty weak today, we had ADA, Cardano here. This is another one straight to the downside. So crypto now going through 2 straight days of weakness. It's not just Bitcoin that's feeling it. We're seeing it in some of these other coins as well. So that is my take here quickly on the crypto space. And I also want to recap quickly our biggest crypto catalyst of the day. We had that Microsoft shareholder meeting that started at 11:30 p.m. a.m. Eastern time, and it's now over. But basically the key here was we had Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategy, presenting a pre-recorded proposal to Microsoft, basically urging them to invest in Bitcoin. Microsoft shareholders have voted against the proposal in preliminary votes. So if there is some last-minute vote, perhaps things can change, but it sounds like those preliminary votes were the majority of voters. So that is the deal here with Microsoft and with the crypto space. Back to the Bash Brothers. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Appreciate that, Adara. Thank you very much.
Easy.
I didn't know it was pre-recorded. How can he expect them to want to punch in 1% when he's not there in person to convey the swag, the sailor
pitch.
swag?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
swag.
Like if pre-record, it's not going to come. It's not going to come off as nice. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's just kind of how I look at that.
That's kind of lazy. Mike, you
probably
got all
didn't
that
invite
money, you can't fly there.
They probably didn't invite him.
Show up uninvited. Who cares? Crash the party. Come up in the finest of Bitcoin.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Bring your Bitcoin wallet too with you, Michael Saylor. Easy Media, Joe, sitting on 350 calls on Tesla. You gonna hit it?
Oh, you hit it.
Stormage on that one. But Sharif, it's time. And who do you think won our poll again on this one, my friend?
All right, hold up.
Bulls, baby.
Hold up. Let's throw up the SPY. Let's throw up the SPY. So here we go.
What's the date?
All right. So what do we need? The 5 minute? The 5 minute.
We need the 5 minute.
All right.
Baby.
So what do you need from me
right now?
All right,
buddy. Let's get our entry price here. We are now entering a SPY trade right now, folks. What is our entry price?
All right.
Sharif.
Got to make sure this updating. 604.19, Joseph.
604.19, baby.
So
Let's go.
606.19 profit target.
Boom. Target price 606.19.
And then
loving it.
603.19.
603.19. Bang.
And we're gonna see what the situation is.
That's our exit price there.
Yeah,
we gotta fix that one up there. 603.
606 for the target, and
for the target,
603 for the out.
603, beautiful. And we're going long again on this one, folks. Okay.
Yeah,
we're
pretty sure.
going long.
Yes, I love these long bears right now. Long 69%, short 30%, 772 votes.
Wow. Okay, man. We're bullish here, folks. And then again, 100 shares on this one. Look at the cumulative P&L, folks. We can pull up the chart here. 133 paper dollars.
Okay.
So yeah,
How many
we're
shares
good.
do we take?
100 every time, baby. 100 every time. It doesn't even matter the bias. We're taking 100 every time. We're big steppers on that front. So 100 every time, folks. Let's see what we can do on this one, because we are 2-0, and I like being undefeated. That's for sure, my friend. How about you?
I love that. Hey, okay, let's talk about these trades right now. I'm really happy with finally how I executed on SERV, Fabian. We got in right at the end of the low end over here as it dipped into that predictable again. 14 1/3, 14 1/4. I got in. Now we wet our beak multiple times into about 1480. Now I'm going to keep my next beak wetter profit target, that is, at the lofty 1505, 1515, excuse me. No, 1505. By definition, it's going to have to take out the 1496 high of day, so it means we got to break through 15 and print a new high day. I've got one more out either way. Otherwise, I get stopped out. QURE as well is doing well on this one. Now it is dipping against me. Where is my QURE trade? Oh boy. So I don't know why this didn't trigger a stop? What's happening with the script failed? Okay, fantastic, QURE. I love when the scripts fail there. I'm not sure why the hell the script failed. Now I'm in trouble with this one, so let me have a look at what the situation is. Yeah, I definitely got a punch out of this one. That's kind of frustrating there when you actually execute well, and now you got to give back money on the trade. So the script failed there, and it does not print me. So a bit of a tougher look, so we'll give back some money on QURE, but let me see if I'm still profitable on it. That's very frustrating there. Yes, believe it or not, I'm still profitable on it, but wow, you had to give a lot back. Yeah. So a little disappointed there with what happened with QURE. We'll look to manage that a little bit better. SERV as well, coming back down, but still well ahead of my entry. If this comes back into 14.25, I'm going to add again. Because right now it's basically a range trade with 14.25 to the south side and about almost 15. Let's say 14.80s to the high side. So we'll see what this one wants to do. I'm talking about SERV. And last but certainly not least, I got stopped out of the remaining amount here on GXAI. As this one is done, I'm done trading this one. We're gonna throw one SOUN on here. Reason being, SOUN's been hanging out at VWAP. So I'm not going to punch in right now. It's at 1487 currently, VWAP 1488. So it's really straddling VWAP, but it's got a 4-candle setup, red, with the 5th candle currently, the one that we're on, also red. So I'm going to need to see a new 5-minute candle to, first of all, close green and to make a new high before I weasel back into that. So we'll keep tabs on that. QSI, it's been hanging out here for a while, so we're going to get long, and I'm going to look to average into about 215. So we're going to throw out some orders at the 215 area to add that. If it does dip down, I'd like to see it come into the 10 exponential moving average. Otherwise, we're going to throw out some orders for a possible move up. Joseph, what are you looking at?
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Guys, people in the chat are talking about PLTR, so we're going to pull up PLTR for you because it is apparently moving back to the low a day. Let's check out the, oh yeah, see it's dumping. I expected that. This stock was extremely extended. So we are now at that opening range low. Yeah, exactly. Get down there because maybe we can pick some up down here because I do think that eventually, this stock will have a 1 in front of it, a triple-digit stock in the near future. So I am really confident in that. So let's see if we break these key support levels. If we do, I think there's going to be some more potential downside. There's something that I wanted to point out as well on PLTR. When you are that extended and then you have that massive gap up that we had yesterday, opening up around $80 or $81 roughly, with that isolated volume signature, be prepared for a little bit of a pullback, even though and this is a genuine candle here. This is a really strong bearish candle. So expect some more a little bit more downside in the foreseeable future on PLTR. I'm not saying that we're going to give back all these gains, but again, we did move almost 100%. We did move it from this low here, sitting around 48.61. So that's a big move in a short period of time. So around November 4th is when we were in the 40s, but now we are trading around 71, but the high was around $81. So that's a 100% move in just a little over a month there, guys. So expect a little bit of a pullback here on PLTR, relatively totally healthy. I don't expect it to go all the way back down to those levels, but that is something that I expect is somewhat of a pullback there, guys. So keep that in mind. And I'm going to pull up PLTR actually as well too, because of that key support level that I pointed out. I might want to get involved in the short on this, even though it is a relatively strong stock. And yeah, here it goes, breaching those levels, guys. And the volume is stepping in. Look at that selling volume stepping in PLTR. I mean, we're really extended from VWAP, but we are breaking those key support levels, as I pointed out right here. So let's keep in mind, if we continue to the downside, then I'm gonna look to participate. But as of right now, it's a little extended. I'm not going to be getting in exactly where I want to, but this is more of just like a support, a flat bottom break level that I'm going to look to participate on this one. So we're going to wait for a little bit of a pullback, and then we're going to look for that continuation to the downside because the volume on the lower and higher time frames are starting to step in there, guys. So keep that in mind. And Tesla's still hovering around those highs, around 407.85. Bitcoin a little bit weaker, going to test some key levels. excuse me, as well too. So around 94,000, and we're sitting at right now are 95,000 guys. But I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really like any of the name suggestions in the chat, so you got to keep sending them there. Yeah. I'm just being frank because you're usually really good with those types of things. But as of right now, I haven't seen anything stand outish. We need something to really be eye popping and be like, that's what the name of it is, right?
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Move you.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to move you. It's got to touch the soul, and it's really got to hit it. Yeah, because. We got there on the green screen there. What is your stock? Dude, we got it. We need. I thought we should have got GME on here today because we're GME after the bell, right? So I think we had GME after the bell. Yeah. So, okay. That's all right, man. We like these ones. Which one are you gonna pick? QURE, Tesla, or BA? Or is that confidential?
Yeah, that's the first one. That's sorry. Okay, so personally. I'm going to have to either narrow it down to QURE or Tesla. Personally, I'm going to go Tesla because that's the one we're actually holding. I think that's everybody's pumped about that one, especially with all-time highs in focus again. 409.09 is the daily high. I think the all-time high, it was a wick high, mind you. Let's flip to the weekly here on Tesla. I'm pretty sure it's 416 and change. I could be wrong on that. Where is it? There is the candle over here. It takes us back to the week of November 1st. And the high of this candle, my platform says 416.67. I don't know if anybody sees something different in terms of all-time highs. Now, mind you, I don't know if that's a pre-market high or if that's an actual regular trading hours high. In any event, it's showing up on my chart, and we're still not there yet. But, awfully close to there. I think we definitely, you and I were talking about this, I think, a few days ago, whether or not we see all-time highs before the end of the year on Tesla. And I personally think we do. Adara, what do you got?
Sport of the show is brought to you by Firefly Neuroscience. Firefly Neuroscience is revolutionizing brain health with cutting-edge brain network analytics, powered by the world's most comprehensive EEG database. This technology provides precise insights for treating cognitive disorders such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, as well as traumatic brain injuries like concussions. With FDA 510K clearance and CE mark approval, Firefly is paving the way for a future where brain health is clear, accessible, and personalized. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. Just putting in my stop on this bad boy over here.
I like that one. Starving like Air Canada. That one's cool. Air Canada's some cool. There is another one in there that I'm not going to refer to, but because it's bio. Yeah.
Fair.
It's a channel. Did you see this one?
I remember exactly where this goes back to.
Yeah.
That was a traumatic experience,
dude,
bro. That's traumatic.
You know what?
There.
That was one of the original viral videos of all time. It was absolutely hectic. We're not going to repeat it here on air, guys.
Yeah,
we're not going to talk about that one.
All right, guys.
Relatively close, yeah, Fabian, something along those lines. What do you got going on?
I got back into SERV on the hold of 14, wet my beak at 20s, now looking at 33s. It's at the $0.25 now. SERV, zigging, zagging. There's a bit of a seller right now at the $0.25 pack, and my patience seeing this one wants to move back up. I also entered Sound, SOUN. I like the breach of the volume weighted average price, and then a green candle, not making a new high quite yet. So this is a bit of a gamble, full disclosure. So we're going to wait over here, see if this one wants to curl back up. Let's see if we can get something above 15s. There we go. On SOUN. Let's see if this one wants to curl back up. 95's now showing up. There it is. There's the print. Nice. Let's see if this one wants to move up above 15. So now we have the first 5-minute candle will make a new high above the previous red candle. So keeping my eye here on SOUN as it zigs and zags. Let's see what else we got. CDIO is doing its thing. I've got really nothing to do on that one other than to either print or get stopped out. QURE. Are we still in that one? No, we're all done with QURE. QSI, I did wet my beak on some profits here on QSI as it did, it's kind of bull flagging right now. So I put my beak wetter there for the 36 print. I've got another profit taker up at 41s on QSI. The reason I'm still bullish on this one is it's putting higher lows on every successive 5-minute candle. This is what I'm seeing right now on my side chart over here. So if you look at this as an area low, the next wick above that a little bit higher, and then on the current candle right now that we're on at 115, it's also a little bit higher with definite selling in the high 30s there, the high 230s with the high of the day, 240. So I weaseled into QSI looking for that break, but I also have a plan DCA to shadow the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. That's what I'm looking at right now with respect to QSI. I see RGTI looks like it's holding up off on the 20 exponential moving average and then working its way back into that $6.50 area. Still well off the highs though. 681 HOD on RGTI. And a bit of a consolidative state. If I could really kind of narrowed it down, it's consolidative, but it looks like it's holding the low while we're putting in lower highs. So it looks like maybe it's kind of downtrending a little bit here with a possible flat bottom. Hard to say. We'll keep tabs on it, no doubt. Let's have a look at SERV. I had a beak wetter at 33s. And bang. We'll take out that one. We're going to put up another beak wetter over here. Let's put it up. I appreciate you, Joseph. Let's put it up at high 40s to front run. Oh, goodness. To front run some size there, possibly at the $0.50. So that's what I'm going to do. I actually added there by accident, so I'm going to take that out. And then we're going to go up into the $0.50 and hang out there. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Things aren't working. Things aren't working over here. Shout out to Obe. He makes it onto the midday without even knowing, right?
Yeah.
Vis-a-vis the animation there, Joseph. So,
what are you eating there?
so look.
Oh, he's got his daily fruit salad.
Yeah, he's got the fruit
What
salad.
was for
going
lunch,
on.
Obi? What was for lunch? Yeah, why'd you, what a sinister look over there. That was real. Well, what was for lunch, though, other than the fruit salad? Pardon me? Salmon? Nice. Was it good?
Salmon looked really good.
Yeah?
It doesn't matter. As long as you know what the protein component is, that's the most important
That's
thing.
good, man. Yeah, we're not.
We have salmon today. I know the canteen man usually does the what's for lunch, but we got big little salmon
Cutlets.
steaks there. Yeah, cutlets. So they look really good. I'll be waiting to dig in on those, Joseph, after the session. What do you got in the gym today? Today's
We're
not
gonna
Thursday,
hit
so
some
you're not playing
chest.
hockey.
No, yeah, we're gonna go hit some chest today. Yeah, we're gonna
Hey.
hit some chest and tries, I think, at the gym, brother. So I mean, it's Tuesday. We'll hit the upper body. I've been playing a lot of hockey lately, so
Okay.
the legs have been burnt out. I haven't been crushing legs as heavy as I used to, but we're on the ice quite a bit, so we need
There you go.
that strong. And I'm getting up there in age too, so the blood doesn't flow the same. I'm not as fast as I was. You know what I mean?
I'm buying that, Joseph. I'm buying that, Joseph.
Hey, listen, I got a couple hockey highlights too.
Fair.
I got some hockey. Yeah, maybe we'll throw them up.
Send
and show
them
you
to me
guys.
so I can
I'll
surprise you like I did last time.
That was cool. So,
Yeah,
see the
we're
boy playing.
smashing legs today
Yeah.
too. So
Oh, you
today's
got
leg
legs
day,
too?
baby.
Nice,
Oh
nice.
yeah.
What are you doing,
Quads
some
today.
RDLs?
You know I split up my leg days, three separate days. We got
Savage.
glutes.
Yeah.
We got quads. We got hammies. Separate days. Each day has calves though, obviously involved with it.
the calves.
Today's a quads day,
well,
baby. So we're gonna go heavy
I
on
have the
big boy
genetic
squats.
issue with the calves there.
Oh, dude, everybody does, unless you're from a particular
Quad-
area in the
yeah,
world, and we're
Quadzilla.
not gonna get all racial.
Sharif is Quadzilla here. He is.
Hey,
He is
well,
Quadzilla.
it's like my best feature, but that's
Oh, chill out. No, hey.
All right, we're doing well here on SOUN, sir. We literally caught the bottom as this one is weaseling up above the volume weighted average price. A couple of beak wetters were long 85s, just took out some at 05s there. We have the high of the day, 1568, kind of a double top into 1560. How much we move up, time will tell. This is a resistance level though, Joseph. This 1503, 15 mid-single digits, that's the closing print from yesterday on SOUN. So whether or not we're above volume weighted average price, we're likely to encounter some resistance here unless we can clear it. So keep packing my patience on SOUN, looking for a bigger move up. Still doing nothing here on QSI, still caught in what I perceive to be a bull flag, but I've got to move up this planned DCA. How come? Because it was based upon the 10 exponential moving average, and the 10 exponential moving average is dynamic level. So I'm going to put it at 22s rather than 10s. I just took it out there.
Oh, no.
We're going to just get back in. Okay, so yeah, well, that's the situation. So we're going to look to hold here at 22. So we'll put the beak wetter there. Good. There
bang,
we go.
and then bang.
Right back up.
We're
Yeah.
getting right back
Oh, that was
into it.
frustrating. I couldn't tell you how much I was
Let's
in
go,
the
and we're back in it, baby.
So
Let's
see
go.
what this one gets. Eclectic passions.
Yeah.
I thought your best feature was the stash. I don't know about that, bro. Oscarito, no big body with skinny legs. No, bro, because I'm not. This is obviously not the time and place, but I'm gonna use it at the opportunity anyway. Legs fundamentally change your hormone level, especially for men. I can't speak to that for women, but if you want to have sound hormone levels and actually be able to boost the size of your upper body, you will have to do your lower body. So especially quads, especially glutes, those are the largest muscles in the body. So get on that,
Fabian,
baby.
Fabian, can you pull up that picture of Sharif and I on with the bowl there? Yeah, no, you have it. You guys were the ones who
I remember
were
that
posting. You
one.
remember that
Oh,
one?
no.
Yeah, you're on top of the bull. No, that was like 3 weeks ago, man. Come on. It's all right. I know you're busy back there. If you can find it, you can find it. I just wanted to point out the glutes there. Those are hockey glutes on that picture. Yeah. So that's what you get from it. Yeah, you get the hockey glutes.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We wet our beak there again on SERV. Are we still holding SER? Oh, we're done that. Oh, it sucks. Okay. So we're done SERV here. We took some out at 50s, but we're going to send it to Adair at the big desk.
We have Eli Lilly on watch here. We know this one announced a $15 billion buyback program yesterday. Now today we have comments from CEO David Ricks that the company is looking to test its obesity drugs for use for smoking and alcohol abuse. So basically, Eli Lilly CEO announcing they're looking to test their obesity drugs in different ways. Also keep an eye here in some of these tobacco-related companies. I'm seeing them tagged with this story. Here is Altria, a little bit of a volume spike here in the 3-minute. And then we have Philip Morris, which is basically flat on the day. This one also curling lower. So it looks like the tobacco-related companies are reacting to this story more than Eli Lilly itself. But just to summarize, CEO David Ricks saying the company is looking to test its obesity drugs for uses outside of obesity, like smoking and alcohol addiction. Back to you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Adara.
One thing I'm gonna do here, Sharif, for the folks out there, I want to see the options chain. What's the see what some expected moves are on GME after the bell, because as of right now, just a quick gander, expiring this Friday, we do have quite a bit of open interest at the $30 mark here. So I'm looking, that is really interesting to me. Let's see what kind of move we get on it. We'll find out the expected move on that as well too on GME, because I know just the meme craze that it goes under. So maybe we get a squeeze, but again, the short float isn't the same as it once was. So that's why you got that crazy squeeze in GME. Yeah, see, there you go. That's the hockey glutes there, folks. That's I need this one, man. That's a fantastic. You like that one, Neil? I think he likes that one there. That's exactly what we need. That's power skating. That's years of power skating right there, and heavy lifting. So there we go, guys.
You're a winger?
Yeah, I play wing.
Nice,
I play
nice.
wing.
I like
Yeah,
that. I like
speed of the wing. But once in a while, I'll fill in up the middle there. But that's a lot of work. And the boy
Center?
fill up the middle.
That's a lot of face-offs too, right?
A lot of face-off. I'm cool with the face-offs. It's just significantly a little bit more skating on that front. But again, when we're playing pickup, then I'll take the middle and pop a couple in for the boys because they need me up
What'd
there.
you say, Fabian? Addles and triangles, yeah, because it's cut off. I know, brother.
Yeah, addles and triangles. But yeah, if I can get that picture, I like that one a lot. That's a cool picture.
A screensaver,
yeah, we like
Shout
that
out to
one.
Fabian,
Yeah,
man, always killing it. What are you
Killing
guys
it, brother.
saying there in the chat? Let's see. All right, what are you guys talking about? Why is everybody so okay? Looks. Oh yeah, you guys are just commenting about that whole thing. Okay, no worries. Let's see the positions we're in right now. We're still looking on QSI for some beak wetters here in the high 30s with my ultimate beak wetter through the high of the day, breaking that $2.40 HOD. We've been caught in a consolidative range, what I perceive to be a bull flag here on QSI. I also took out some more profits on SERV, if I can find it there. Yeah, there it is. We took it out the $0.50. Now we're still putting in lower highs, so I'm hesitant to want to get back into this until I see a break and take of that 1480. That's kind of the local high that we haven't been able to break since making it. We've been putting in lower lows though, certainly not enough lower highs, so a bit of a downward channel right now on SERV. But as I see it, QSI is moving up, so I definitely got the printer bang. Let's see if now we can take out that 240 HOD on QSI. It's a midday mover. So this one caught the majority of the volume, started coming in on this one at 12:45. Why does that matter? Because a lot of these small cap gappers, they have, the majority of the volume and the best part of the trade take place in the pre-market as well as, right after the bell or in the early trading hours. And then we got to pick up the scraps of what's left. What does that mean? That means, picking it up off a moving average, picking it up off VWAP, off the closing print, whatever. So we wait for support level. At least that's how I trade. before getting into those. When they have this kind of midday move where they're a trade de novo midday, you're not picking up the scraps. You're getting in on that initial bull flag, so you can kind of take the continuation to the second bull flag. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do over here. Here we go, 238 showing up. Let's see if we can take out the high at 240. I'm talking about QSI, packing my patience on this one. What happened to this one, though? Let's see if it stopped me out. Here we go with CDIO coming into that dollar again at VWAP. Does it hold the volume weighted average price and that dollar? I'm talking about CDIO. We've taken some profits out at the top over here, but it's going to have to hold this level. Otherwise, if it breaks 97, I am gone on this one. Joseph, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm still looking at this options chain. I'm slightly intrigued by this GME options chain, guys, just to see where this open interest is really lying and what the options market might be pricing in for an expected move. But yeah, as of right now, the most open contracts are sitting around that $30 strike price. So keep that in mind, with about 15,000 open contracts right now, guys, around that $30 strike price. And to the downside, the highest open interest to the downside is sitting around that $25 mark with 6.1 open contracts around those levels. And that's as high as it goes to the put side, guys. So yeah, we're seeing a little bit of bullish action on sentiment on the GME call side, folks. But Google is absolutely trending higher. And I like this because it is my second largest holding position. I've seen it gap up and I'm like, I didn't think that this gap up was going to be sustainable. But as of right now, we are gapping and going. We are potentially going to test some of these key pivot levels. I don't think we go back to the high of day today, but I really like this for Google overall. I do think that this is going to continue. And I mentioned before, in order for this market to continue higher, we're going to need these big boys to participate and to continue to participate, all right? So we've seen that Meta and Amazon were continuing to make new highs when Google and Microsoft were kind of lingering. So now we're looking at a little bit of a rotation here, and I really like that. And now as Meta and Amazon are slowly pulling back, we have now gained some new horses in this race as we go to continue to push higher on Google and Microsoft. So I do think that these can continue, as well as Apple making new highs as well too. So now that all these megs are kind of working together, I think that this market continues higher for the foreseeable future. But as of right now, folks, we are off to Adara.
DXY here with its third straight green day, finding beautiful support here at this 105.70. Dare I say it looks like a bit of a range here. We have that base of 105.70, potentially a top here for that DXY around that 106.45 unless we can close above this level. It looks like the next potential level of resistance on the daily chart could be 106.83s. So we're going to have to wait and see what this US dollar does, but there is some economic data on the horizon, especially the CPI prints coming through tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. We'll be getting CPI on a month-over-month and year-over-year basis, as well as core CPI. I want to focus on the core inflation numbers for a moment, if I may, because we know we had comments last week from Fed's Michelle Bowman, who was the one Fed member who held out from agreeing with that 50 basis point cut back at the September FOMC meeting. Basically, Michelle Bowman said on Friday that one thing she'll be looking at is, quote, uncomfortably high core inflation, which apparently has been a little bit strong lately. I will just give a recap here of what we're looking for. Core inflation here on a year-over-year basis is still at a 3-month high of 3.3%. For October, it was also at this number for September, so unchanged, but this number definitely higher than what we were seeing in that late summer, early fall period. Now, on a month-over-month basis, we had the inline expectations here in the third consecutive month of 0.3% increases for core inflation. So right now, we've had kind of the same type of increases on a month-over-month and year-over-year basis for core inflation. Let's see what we get tomorrow. We are expecting 2.7% here for CPI, 0.3% on a month-over-month basis there, and then for core, we're expecting 0.3% year-over-year and 0.3% on a month-over-month basis. So we're expecting these core numbers to remain the same for yet another month. We'll have to wait and see. If that is the case, we'll find out less than 24 hours from now at 8:30 a.m., guys. Back to you.
Speaking of currency, Joseph, we get Canadian the rate decision tomorrow from the Bank of Canada. Widely expected, at least last time I checked, to be
Another
50
cut?
bips. Yeah, well,
Another
definitely
one?
a cut, but it's
Well, you know what
talking
that's
about
gonna.
the size.
We know what that's gonna do to the dollar. That's already been.
That's what I was getting at. That's exactly what I was setting up to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been watching our amazing Canadian dollar get shellacked
slapped man.
lately.
It's absolutely horrendous. It sucks right now. It's not good.
And it's affecting multiple different industries. Now, we import most of the food in the winter, obviously, because of the climate here. Most of it comes from the United States, a lot from, obviously, Latin America as well. What's coming from the United States, which has, obviously, a stronger currency, that's going to cause food inflation on this side of the border because we're buying it, or our grocery stores or distributors are buying it with the Canadian dollar, passing it on to us. Obviously, they lose in the forex there. They're not going to absorb that, Joseph. They're going to pass that on to us.
On to consumers, yeah.
Exactly. So boom, we got food inflation again, which is obviously one of the worst types of inflation. Let's call a spade, bro.
Yeah, exactly. When it costs more at the grocery store, then it just dwindles everything else. You have less to spend elsewhere.
Bro. And it's the most important thing. People got to eat, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you know as well, food bank usage. Record highs.
Yeah, record highs. Yeah, I've seen that.
Country.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's a tough look all around. In addition to that, there's other areas as well. Travel. You're not going to see as many Canadians weaseling down into the U.S. because they're going to have to be buying all those American, whether it's hotels or whatever else, with the Canadian dollar, and that you get rinsed. You're losing 30% on every transaction.
I think just because from our economic standpoint, our decreases are a little bit more inflationary than the States, and they have been from leading the housing market to food and all sorts of goods. So it's not good with us. I disagreed on the last cut. I believe that we should have paused, and I agree on that front as well too, because it's just it's inflationary, all right?
It is, man.
People are waiting to get into the housing market, and now that lending is cheaper, it's going to raise prices even more. So you have to look at it from that perspective. I think that we need to pause. I don't know if you can burn a bunch of cash, but that's what Canada essentially needs to do, because we pumped up too much stimulus into our economy during those COVID rains. So it's really tough.
Exactly.
Yeah. Too much
So
stimulus.
it's going to be a tough look, obviously, and the reason we're cutting is because the economy is not good.
It's not good.
And so we've got to stimulate it somehow. Obviously, increasing the money supply is one of the ways to stimulate it. The repercussions of that are the dollar drops because you're not giving as much in terms of rates. In addition to that, if you're cutting, means that your economy not that strong, so you don't have investors exuberant to invest in Canada. By investing in Canada, obviously, when you open up a business here or you have any sort of operations, you're buying Canadian dollars.
Well, now we have new capital gains taxes implemented, so the investor interest in Canada has dwindled as well too.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course, very good point.
You know what I mean? Again, if you're gonna have to pay more tax, why are you gonna come in and invest here? So I don't know.
There it is. All right, Fabian, am I doing that? All right, so we got bills to pay. Allow me 1 second over here to load this bad boy up. Or we're doing e-signal, right? All right, here it is. Trade smarter, not harder, guys, by upgrading to that elite trading experience that allows you to analyze, strategize, and hopefully after all that, you'll be able to capitalize by foreseeing those profitable opportunities with the platform that you need. You get a bunch of stuff. You get infinite data. You get instant trading. You get to know where the market is moving before others with that lightning fast execution and data. People really always talk about the charts in this program, charts that change the game, some people would say. You can customize and analyze the markets faster and in your specific way. And we all know a good trading plan requires sound backtesting. That's what you get here. You get better backtesting. You get better scanning. You can predict the future by understanding the past. Reliable, real-time data up to the second market information from hundreds of global markets. It's literally everything you need all in one place, so don't miss a beat. Execute your best trades now. If you're ready, only if you're ready to elevate your trading, scan that QR code on the bottom right corner of your screen or head on over to the link in the description. What are you chuckling about now, bro?
Because I've seen this meme before and it actually made me laugh. And then Paul said it in the chat. the loonie now called the Northern Peso. So I just think that's what I think that's really hilarious.
It's funny.
Yeah,
it's
but
funny
it
unless
sucks.
you're holding Canadian dollars.
Yeah. You don't want to be doing that. Hey, that's why. Hey, American equities, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
yeah, right.
And the reason, like, I don't take it too personally is I remember we were talking about this back in the day when you signed up with IBK, right, you actually had to convert your Canadian dollars.
Exactly,
you don't have to anymore, but I did at the time. So I'm most of my cash in my brokerage account is actually U.S. dollars. So I'm not too upset about it. But we earn in Canadian dollars, obviously.
You know what's funny? So shortly after I opened my IBK account is when the Fed started increasing rates. So I'm like, we're having a good time on that front too. So yeah, it's good stuff there, guys.
Sir.
Tesla still hovering around those highs of days. So we're going to continue to monitor this as well, guys. I don't know if we're going to get that all-time high today on this session. So let's see if we can continue in this strength from a daily perspective. I mean, we are slightly extended, so we had this nice breath here, a nice one ABCD pattern continuing higher. So let's see if we can continue. I won't be surprised if we do get a little bit of a pullback before we do go and test those all-time highs, but I do think it's only a matter of time until we do. I'm not saying by the new year, but I mean, it's not too far off. It can wick those and sell off in a session. So probably by the new year, I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla tests all-time highs there, brother. What do you got?
Yeah, and you and I were talking about that, and I quite frankly, I agree with that. So we'll have to wait and see how that all pans out. All right, I'm kind of happy with this trade over here. Let's talk about QSI. I punched in, I even fat fingered, but I got right back in. We wet our beak there into the high of the day. We took out the high of the day. We took out 45s. I'm still waiting at 48s. High of the day is 47, but you're not seeing that big boy bull flag continuation. So the book says, if you believe the books, the technical analysis books, after that initial bull flag form, you should get a continuation similar size, if not the exact same size as the initial bull flag. That's your projection, the measured move up from the breakout level. My humble submission is to you that the breakout level's around 240. We're not getting that. We got a 247 high of the day. We're still above the 10 exponential. We're still above my entry, so nothing really to worry too much about here on QSI. But, you know, my beak wetter there waiting in front of the $0.50 is going to go unfilled, it looks like, for the moment. We have about 20 minutes left on the show. So we still have some time for that top to get taken out. Let's have a look at the poll. How are we doing here on the poll? How many votes we got? 555. Okay.
Step it up, folks.
Well, yeah. I mean, we still have 20 minutes. I'm sure they can do a bit better than that. But 555. Well, that's kind of late. Not surprised by the results of the poll. Obviously, the Cybertruck, the number one on there, not even close. 56% being voted right now. Tesla with AI, C3 AI, that is, in second place there with about a fifth of the vote at 19. And then Boeing, hopefully. No, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to retract that joke. Boeing at 17%, and then QURE. No love for the small cap gappers in single digit territory, Joseph, with 8%. So we'll keep tabs on that. Let's get those votes up, guys. Let's get a bit of a better sample size so that we have the best ones. Say the joke, says Neil. I can't do it. I already said that one this morning to you, and you kind of looked at me and you were like, really? So I don't know if I want to do two today, Neil. Yeah, that one. So shout out to Neil. Always good humor around here. Let's see what the other position is doing here on SOUN. This looks like it is going to be a rejection, guys, of that 1506, 1507 area, which is actually the closing print on SOUN. So it's coming right back into my entry. I'm break even on it now. I've already got my stop through the break of this area low. So I don't want to just take it out because I'm long at this area. It doesn't care where I'm long or where I'm in. The most important part in my estimation is 1480, and we may not have to wait that long for that level to give way because we're at 83s now. I've taken the majority of the position out, but if this dips below 1480, we're gonzino on this name. SOUN actually in negative territory now, having rejected that 1506 level. So on the way down. As I see it, though, the side chart showing me a lot of love continuing here for RGTI. I'm told this is a quantum computing name vis-a-vis Neil and Wayne. So let's have a look at what this company is set to do. It's a full stack quantum computing company. They operate quantum computers over the cloud and servers. They serve global enterprises, government and research clients. What else do they do? Quantum classical infrastructure. What's the float on this bad boy? It's about 165 million shares with a $1.6 billion market cap. RGTI. What do we got over here? 16.5% short float. So decent short float on this, kind of giving an indication of how aggressively it could move up given where shorts are in and where they'd have to cover. So RGTI, not giving it back. It's still very strong on the day, up 50%, very close to the high, 72s right now, 74s. The high is 81, so great strength there from that name. Not involved in it, haven't been involved with it all day. QURE, big drop off that 17 1/3 HOD. It's at $15 right now. The volume weighted average price is at 14 2/3. This could be an interesting dip trade here on QURE. I'm not going to get into it at this level. If it comes into VWAP, proves it's going to hold up, we'll weasel in. It's just too late in the day for me to want to basically babysit this. RGTI just took highs. So good look there. This one continuing to go, guys. 2 New York cents has been long since 355. We're going to drop the money for you, my man. Great trade for you there. What else is there to say other than print up a storm, baby? It's related to NVIDIA and Google, I believe. He goes on to say, shout out to you, my 2 New York cents, always doing the most in a great way there in the chat, Joseph. Keeping an eye on these small cap gappers. QSI dipping in to my area. Let's have a look at that one. We're still in the money on this one, and I still see higher lows, and it's still above the 10 exponential. So I don't want to take this out and paper hand the trade, packing my patience, come what may.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there, Shreve. I know some people in the chat were asking me about MongoDB, so I'm just reading a little bit here. I mean, they posted a third quarter earnings per share of $1.16. I'm sure Adara touched on this as well too, on revenue of $529 million, beating Wall Street's estimates of 67 cents on revenue of $497 million. But just Needham analysts noted that the company faces intense competition from a number of established and emerging companies. This includes established legacy providers like IBM and Oracle, as well as public cloud provider like Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. So I know the forecast, I think, on this is a little bit weak, even though they had the double B, but analysts did raise price targets on this one as well too. But again, the competition for MongoDB seems to be quite fierce. So keep that in mind, guys, for that stock. That may be why it's selling. I know it did start to trade significantly higher on the report. I didn't watch it. I usually watch these earnings report, but here you go. We got that nice strong drive on the announcement, and then since has give back even more since the report, guys. So just keep that in mind on MongoDB. But yeah, guys, I'm still holding in on Tesla. Let's see if we're starting, the price is starting to compress here. Let's see if we are forming an ascending triangle, and then that volume steps in maybe around the later 2 o'clock hour, and then we can push. Because I do think that 414 is in reach. I don't know necessarily today, but I think in the near future, who knows what this potential price compression break can bring, especially if that volume does step in. We can see that it is starting to dwindle. Let me pull up the actual underlying. It is starting to dwindle, so this isn't the best breakout volume. You would want to see buyers start to step in here. But from a 5-minute time frame, you can see as we start to appreciate in price, that volume is slightly diverging, so keep that in mind on that front, guys. But I do think just because the overall sentiment of this stock is strong, if buyers do decide that they want to step in, they can push that to those levels because it's only a couple points away. We are up about 4.8% on the session, so I mean, it's a great day for Tesla, but I've seen him put it in better days on that front for sure. So yeah, Google continuing to crawl a little bit higher, guys. And let's take a look at Amazon. I think it's starting to pull back in a little bit today. Oh, okay, is that okay? Up only about 2/3 of a percent on Amazon, slowly pulling back, but we've been on an absolutely stellar run on Amazon as well too. I mentioned this earlier, these Mag 7s have been participating in this rally, hence why we see the Qs at all-time highs, and I think in order for us to continue, market breadth is great, but in order for this market to continue to move higher, we're gonna need these guys to participate. It doesn't have to be all of them at once But again, as you can see, one's trading higher, some will pull back, and then another group will start to move higher as well too. So we have a lot of them on either new or all-time highs, or on the breach of it, or on the cusp of all-time highs as well too. Especially with Microsoft. So we'll pull up Microsoft real quick. We're not too far off it. Maybe we'll get a percentage metric on that front to see how far off the all-time highs we are on Microsoft. And then we have, okay, no, there's that. Okay, yeah, so yeah, we're still a little bit of a ways off there, but not too much. And then we have Google as well, starting to creep in on those all-time highs. We have Apple already at all-time highs, and then especially Tesla as well too. So once those three start moving, then I think this market is going to continue in that northeast trajectory on that front, because if all these big names are participating and making new all-time highs, expect the overall market to do so as well too, Sharif.
I completely agree, man. We're weaseling into the high of day on Apple right now. 247.79 is the high of the day. We're at 65, so Apple creeping in on yet another all-time high. The all-time high, I believe, we made this morning at 8:15. That's at exactly $248. So keep your eye on that Apple. Really good recovery off the lows there. Sorry, Fabian. There it is. AAPL. Nice V-shaped retracement off that 245.50 drop and hold. Retaking that 246.75 close. And now we're very, very close to the high day, but still below that pre-market high at 248. The Cybertruck, though, just came in to another day high there, 407.19. So calm down, Sharif. 409.19. We didn't get to the 19s yet. So this candle takes us up to 13s. So we're still below the high of the day, but you guys get it, where we're knocking on the door of that 410 area. It's been a symphony of higher lows and higher highs. Great move since around 11, since we kind of dipped in, breached VWAP, but almost held that 400 on the closing basis. We didn't quite. The closing print there, 399.53, but we recovered above VWAP, and since that time we've been putting in higher lows and higher highs on the Cybertruck. So Tesla, awfully strong. You cannot say the same though for some of these other names. I mean, Goggles is up big boy, 5.25, and put some respect on that. It's very much near all-time highs again, coming into that 190s, low 90s there. But it's definitely off the highs. It's about almost $2 off the highs there, trading 184.70, the high 186 and a third. So GOOGL recovering above the volume weighted average price, but still having trouble with that 185 level. So the strength today certainly concentrated a little bit with the MAG. Obviously, Google, the number one big boy on the day. Tesla, second in command there, but that could change, baby, because Tesla right now, 4.89, Goggles, 5.27. So that could absolutely change, especially if you get a break and take of that 410. I don't even know where the shorts are sitting on Tesla, but they can't really be sitting much higher than here, because, well, 416, we already saw the week of November 1st, that's all-time highs. That's about a $7 buffer from where we're at. So they're all going to either be concentrated here or getting or re-instigating their shorts is what I should be saying there. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how Tesla does once it gets, at those levels. Does it become parabolic and you kind of watch a short squeeze? I don't know. We'll see. Microsoft started off well. Today, certainly, you got that big green candle to start the show at 9:30 there. It went from 442.5 to almost 450, 449.62. But since putting in those highs, it really has been a sell the pop kind of event. Symphony of lower highs and lower lows, a downward channel, certainly. Breaching VWAP, breaching the closing print from yesterday at 446. So we're actually negative now on Softy, down 1/3%. NVIDIA and Softy, the only two Mag 7 names red on the day, believe it or not. And yeah, it's been ugly for NVIDIA lately, quite frankly. It has. It has been quite ugly. Yeah. Anyway, we're throwing it to Adair.
Getting some volume here in Moderna, mRNA down about 7% right now. This is quite the rounded top on this one. Basically, we just got news here that the FDA has been highlighting, I guess, some safety challenges and development needs for pediatric RSV vaccines. So some of these RSV vaccines for children, basically citing some historical concerns and recent pauses for some of these mRNA trials. They're also going to be focusing here on addressing unmet needs for infants and toddlers. So on this note here about some challenges and developmental needs for some of these RSV vaccines for kids, mRNA is dropping here, guys. Again, it doesn't seem like this is specific to Moderna, just in general to our mRNA vaccines. But we do have that drop to the downside here on these FDA comments. Back to you and the Bash Brothers.
Thank you, Adara. Appreciate that.
This thing sucks, man.
What?
AMD, like bro.
You hold grudges.
Yo, I have no, I do.
you hold
Yeah,
grudges.
big time,
Yeah.
man. I'm really
I can tell.
disappointed in it. I'm really disappointed in it, dude.
I remember that week you had the options.
Yeah,
bro.
I had the options.
Bro, you're killing it on everything else.
Yeah,
Let it go,
You gotta.
dog.
I know. There's no such thing as perfection in this.
Of course,
game,
bro. Not in this game. And I remember you actually told me something like I didn't even know you that well back then when we were across the road at the bar and we were talking about win percentage, hit rates, and we were discussing high hit rates in equities. And you had good data at the time. You're like, there's really no way you can be that accurate with equities. Different thing with options.
I think
right?
in the overall game, it's near impossible to be. You can't be perfect.
Certainly not. And
it's
not even like my understanding is really the best traders have that 66%, something in and around there. I'm talking about equity traders.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
No, totally, dude. Like, and you're 100% right. It's next to impossible. Let's put it this way. We have, like, you can create an algo, and even that algorithm can't be perfect every time. So if the computer can't be perfect, you're going to have that discretionary aspect of the trader. It's impossible. So if you're looking to perfect this game, you're not. You just need to become better than your losers, essentially. In a nutshell, right? It gets a lot more complex than that, but you can't look for that perfect trade every single day because it's changing. The market is changing every day. So one thing will work one week, and then the next week or the next couple of weeks it won't work. Okay. So that's just, I guess, a part of the game. But yeah, AMD is really disappointing. We are creeping in on some really key pivotal levels here, Sharif. I mean, like 121 is not out of the picture here. We broke these key support levels around 134.62. And those key levels being broken is like, we can see some more significant downside. But guys, one thing I'm going to do, just because I am both against the odds, I'm kind of being sarcastic, right? Like it's a stock. You hold nothing personal to it. That's totally fine. But one thing I will do is I will not give up, right? I'm not going to force anything, Sharif. I will not give up. What I will do is I will keep an eye out for those indecision prints. I will keep an eye out for when the market tells us that this stock is going to turn around. And sure enough, I think over time it will.
Oh, I agree. It can't be the case that NVIDIA has 90% dominance on the AI chip. That's just not going to last, dude.
Exactly. So
let's change gears here for a second. A very strong stock, Joseph. Lately, Chilean Nightmare. PLTR. Big red day today, or yesterday, excuse me, for Palantir, 82.70. And we weaseled on down to almost 71. In fact, we did. We're lower again today. However, I think we have a higher low today. What's the low today? Well, currently, 71.39. Yesterday was 71.05. So we do have a higher low. In addition to that, we're still above the 10 exponential moving average on the daily. And, you know, everybody, I don't know if everybody's been asking this. I've been asking myself this. How long does Palantir go on like this, like a dang rocket ship, before there's a pullback or an all-out retracement? Guys, it's got a market cap of $164 billion. And the PE, what the hell is the PE on this? It's 366.
Yeah.
366. Guys, the industry standard is 30.5. So, you know, at some point, this is going to have to give back a bit. Otherwise, the revenue is going to have to fundamentally change. You're not going to catch me trying to short this, though, because you can get your face blown off. And Alex Karp loves when shorts on Palantir get killed. Remember that whole thing, the spiel that he did about, you know,
he was
people
not happy.
Yachts
He
and
was
stuff
not
like
happy
that.
about that. But Sharif, we'll send it back to you real quick, guys. It's time to hop out of our third trade, guys. And you know what? Unfortunately, that unbeaten streak has come to a lofty end, guys. Now we're sitting around 201. We're going to punch out as of right now. So 604.08 is going to be our exit price on this one, guys. 604-08. We're going to take a small loss on this one, but that is okay because that cumulative is still sticking really strong, guys. So we're out here at 155, 156. All right, so that's that one documented for now, and then I'll fill out the rest as well a little bit later once I do the calculations. But we are still sitting pretty positive. But thanks, Bear Bulls Bulls, the greatest mod out there, for reminding me we had to punch out of this trade at 155, and sure enough, we did. So guys, we are out of that third trade. Not a bad one. We'll call it break even. We'll call it an overtime loss, essentially. So we still get a little bit of a point, not too big of a loss on that front. So good luck there, guys. Having a blast with that one with them. So
loving it, man. Loving it. A couple of trades left over here. The one that's in the money, doing well, is QSI. Still well off the highs, but did hold up the 10 exponential to a dank T print closer. Otherwise, they all held up, but we're still off the highs right now, but it's a good pattern here on QSI. Very bull flag-ish with a symphony of higher lows as well. That's kind of what you want to see. I'm going to use that term that everybody likes, buyer exuberance being displayed here on QSI because it's being bought successively higher on every dip. So that's kind of what we're looking for there for the trend to hold up. CDIO is, look, it's holding VWAP, but it's a respectable hold. Where's my CDIO trade? Last but not least, Murphy's Law, obviously. It's holding up at VWAP. But yeah, that's it's not really a ringing endorsement over here for that, because that's not why I'm trading this. I was trading it for a VWAP hold and high of day test. With 2 minutes left on the show, it's not something I want to be doing while I'm at the green screen, nursing this bad boy over here. But I'm going to put my stop and give it a decent buffer in case this one really drops off and the volume, or sorry, the liquidity eats up all the orders there, which is exactly what happened to me on QURE. I had a stop and it triggered, but my buffer wasn't enough. And by buffer is what I'm talking about, the triggering price and the limit price, because I use limit stop orders, and I gave it, I think, 10 pennies, but that still wasn't enough. So liquidity can be an issue sometimes with these small cap gappers, so make sure you account for that in your stop placement and your stop entry. Otherwise, you're going to have to use market orders, and that's kind of the Wild West. Not my jam there. What else is everybody looking at there? Thoughts on SMCI, says HY. Yeah, it's getting shellacked, about 7.1% to the downside today. I believe the CEO did come out and say that he doesn't think the delisting process is actually going to happen. Let's have a look at what was said there. Here it is. Shares of Supermicro briefly surged Monday. That's not the look. This is the one. Supermicro CEO confident stock will not be delisted. That is a news headline we got at around 11 o'clock or so, a little after 11 actually. Yeah, confident it will not be delisted. Obviously, we'll have to see exactly what happens there, but it's been a tough road. Let's look at the daily on this. Interesting here. Look at this, Joseph. Look at this wall of kind of consolidation that we put in between. That's August 28th to when we really flushed there, October 30th. You could say 47 to 50 bucks was the level there. Look where we weaseled up to, and then we had a double top there with today making a new low. So technical analysis playing in here to SMCI, whether or not there is fundamental issues. This $50 shelf, which has been in play, guys, since late summer. August 28th is when we really dropped below that level decisively. We've been kind of holding below that level since that time. You know, you get a couple of wicking days that breach, but for the most part, $50 or $48, a bit of a range there, has been the top, Joseph. But it is now 2 o'clock, so
that time,
leave him with a thought, brother.
Yeah, put me on the spot on that one, guy. Yeah, it's all right, guys. Hey, trade safe. Make sure you have those stop losses. Implement. Don't chase anything. We are reaching all-time highs in the markets. A lot of things are coming. Just pack your patience, wait a little bit, and get those prices that you want.
See you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Thanks.
Boom.
Hey.
You know, we're not network TV. Just because it hits 2 o'clock, you don't have to rush your thoughts, right? Like, we're here to the close. Welcome back, everybody. That's like the power of the show. It's like, obviously the market opens at 9:30, right? So we're on at 8:30, and market closes at 4. We go to 4:30. Like, you have the market open and close. We're already on. We don't have to do anything.